Yeah. We were just at your face-to-face
Yes,
event, which
sir.
was like so cool with you and Veron.
Me and Veron, we have chemistry. Like we've been
Yeah.
doing back to
Oh,
backs.
we could tell. We even said
Yeah.
that after.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh,
I'm like,
they were in sync on
They
that
should be
too.
dating.
Yeah. They should be- yeah, just a larger audience that you have to
It's just
accommodate.
the vantage point you see it from. I've like a lot of people argue what you're doing is not underground, it's commercial. Talk to the guys going for drum code. They'll tell you it's underground. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
just-
all perspective.
it's perspective.
It's all perspective.
So-
Yeah, we call it business techno. Just show up ready to go. It's like, but yeah,
When it started off, it was just throwing the best party that there is that we can
We
that
can
you
do
felt
it,
passionate
yeah.
about,
Yeah.
right?
It was
Yeah.
just house parties on a bigger scale. That's what our
Exactly.
goal was. We used to do tons of after parties at our place, and
And as Indians, you have that thing in mind, right? If you're having guests at your place, you need everything to be perfect.
Yeah, it's true.
So I need
Hospitality.
drinks, I need ashtrays, I need cigarettes, I need whatever my
so we
guests
were
would need.
always commended upon for our hospitality. And I was like, we can take this.
Yeah, and it motivates you. It's just like, wow, someone's reaching out to me or like posting my video or tagging us.
Yeah,
Because you guys post anyone who tag. I think you guys post like everything,
Yeah.
everything.
like everything. But honestly, like, yeah, your feed is cluttered, but it's just like, it's your way of showing appreciation to whoever's
Exactly.
tagging you, which
It's got its pros and cons, but
Yeah.
the pros outweigh the
Yeah.
cons.
Yeah,
Like
it's a
my
lot of
feed-
work.
My feed can be cluttered, yes, but the person who tagged us is gonna feel special if we reshare it.
Reshare.
Yeah.
And
Because as ravers, we
Because
used to feel
we've
that
been in
too,
that
right?
place where we used to tag other collectives.
because Toronto is always considered an afterthought, is what we thought. But to be honest, in the hard techno scene, we are not an afterthought.
We are
We're
not.
not.
We
Look
are
at
not.
the Vendex videos. The guy
Yeah.
makes a post about New York and Toronto.
And we had like
We had seven
Seven
videos, and New York
and
just
New York
one.
just had
I
one.
noticed that too. I
Huge.
didn't message you guys, but I was just looking at the post. I'm like, there's 1 or 2 videos of New York, and like the rest are just Toronto. And
I
it
mean,
looks so
Coming
sick.
from him telling us right after the event that
It looks
this
like
is literally close to what the Europe scene is, what you guys
Yeah.
did here tonight, and this is literally the best event I've done in North America yet. So that means a lot. Like
Yeah.
coming from Vendex, he's almost been around all the major cities in North America, and
it comes. Hey guys, welcome back to the Back and Body Hurts Podcast, where we talk about all things EDM. Thanks for tuning in this week. I'm your host for this week, Sunny, and to my right is Benny.
Hey.
And in this week's episode, we are excited to welcome 2 special guests from the heart of Toronto's underground techno scene, the founders of Takeover 6. I'm pleased to welcome Siddharth and Anshi.
Hi.
thanks so much for having us, guys.
My pleasure.
So, just a little history. If you've been paying attention to the city's underground techno scene, you've definitely heard of the name Takeover 6. They just celebrated their first year anniversary show back in February, and they have a packed calendar of banger events happening throughout the year and planned for next year. It's actually insane when I've talked to you guys how much you guys have planned. And they're showing no signs of slowing down. So yeah, we're going to talk into the journey of the Takeover 6 because in 1 year you guys have accomplished so much. Thoughts on the techno scene and just the normal techno scene in North America versus Europe, because a lot of stuff we do in North America is already trending in Europe.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it's just interesting to see where we think the techno scene's going to go and where it's headed in the short term. So
Yeah, I'm
should-
excited.
should be an exciting episode. So, and also for you guys that didn't know, they're also known as the Takeover King and Queen. So yeah. So I
jeez.
want to start with you, Anshi. Like, what was your intro into like the raving scene?
So I have not been raving like my entire life, like most of the ravers. I came to Canada and I was introduced to raving by him.
Oh, okay.
So my first rave was actually VCL with industry, and that like opened up a lot of doors for me. It was like a
Yeah.
whole new experience.
So this is post-pandemic for you,
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
not raved at all before that. I was not into techno scene. I was more like an R&B girl.
Yeah.
And I came here. He took me to VCL rave, and I could never stop
Yeah,
raving
we
after
could
that.
never go back from there, I feel.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? We had an episode earlier on how to solo rave, and our guest Rachel, she's just like, yeah, my first rave was in an underground. I think it was like McCormick probably, and her first rave was like a warehouse, and she's like, what is this?
Yeah.
I thought you thought it'd be like top 40, like, housey music, and it's like deep, dark techno. So it's just like,
Yeah, 100%. So back in India, we didn't used to actually have raves at all. It was
Yeah.
more of a clubby culture, R&B, hip hop
Yeah,
music.
raves are a taboo.
Here,
guess.
yeah.
At least in the big cities. But
I-
if you branch out, maybe go to Goa or up in the hills.
It is changing though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
it-
nowadays
it
they're
is,
doing
it
a
now
lot
is.
it's
more.
It is
booming a
changing.
lot.
It
Yeah.
is.
So when did you move here?
Probably 2021.
Okay, so it's
2022.
2022.
And
Okay.
that was actually the first year we started raving. And once we went to VCL, we could never stop raving. We only knew
Our
about
first event
industry.
here in the city was at Rebel.
At Rebel.
Oh,
yeah,
That was the
we
first
just went
and the
to
last
Rebel
time
once.
we went to Rebel.
Yeah.
It'd be like, oh yeah, like
Because on the outside, I was like, yeah, great club. It's a big ass club. Great infrastructure. And then we go there, we see the
The
crowd, and
music,
like,
the
Yeah.
crowd.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
wait,
a
did you
vibe.
guys go on a Saturday night?
A
or did you-
Saturday
It was a
night?
Saturday
Oh,
yes.
okay, so
night.
you
Yeah.
got the
They had a casual mosh pit going on in
Yeah.
there. And
It was actually the first week when we were here, and then
Yeah.
we just wanted to explore the clubs, and we went to Rebel, and we were like, "Nah, this is not."
Yeah,
This is-
Don't worry, you're
if
you're
this-
like one in probably 10,000
Yeah,
people who
yeah.
like say the same thing because Saturday nights Rebel. Now Rebel has branched out to doing more events
Yeah.
on Saturdays, but at one point Saturday nights was Rebel like R&B, like it was pretty much like the drinking clubbing
Yeah.
crowd. And,
Exactly.
like we used to go to events at the Noir venue, and then walking out, you just see so many drunk people. I'm just like, this is crazy. And like you guys
even between
Yeah.
the main stage and the noir stage, you see a massive difference
Difference
between
Yeah.
the crowd. Like, inside that room, it's still a lot better, but outside in the main room, it's just
It's like formal. It's more
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
formal.
Yeah.
And then we have a friend that went to Noir. He was wearing like sweatpants and like track pants, and the security guard at the front was like, "Oh, you can't come in with that." Oh, and he was like, "Don't worry, I'm going to Noir." He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we
Yeah,
understand."
you're good.
That's-
You passed the
Yeah,
vibe. You
yeah,
passed
yeah.
the vibe check.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah, like
Jesus Christ.
yeah, like Ink's done good with Rebel recently with the more
Yeah.
trends towards
Yeah.
the music.
They're also transitioning to a 360 stage now.
yeah, they're
Like,
experimenting.
yeah.
They're trying different acts. It's not just like top 40 or like
Yeah.
mainstream guys. They're doing like even drum and
But
bass.
I think they know like they can't keep continuing.
Continuing
that,
yeah.
continue the same thing.
The-
I feel it only lacks where with the crowd. I feel the
Yeah.
infrastructure that Rebel has, it's really nice. It's just the
Yeah.
crowd.
It
that
is.
they
Yeah, the
cater to.
crowd and
yeah.
just getting there too,
Exactly.
and leaving.
Yeah.
getting there is a mission.
Yes.
It's a mission and a half, and then you realize you have to pay $30. It used to be like
What?
25, then
Yeah.
obviously inflation 30, now 35. You're like, Jesus Christ,
The
the-
cabs, the
but they have
cabs get
parking at
super
least.
expensive.
they do have parking.
It's
The cabs also like leaving Rebel, like crazy.
fucked up.
Oh,
yeah.
the first time we went there, we were looking for cabs, and
I think twice we got cancelled on, and the third time we
people
got
were
asked
charging
$80.
$200.
Yeah, they see Rebel on the app, and they're like,
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm good, yeah. And well, they also know it's like, oh, someone's gonna pay it.
Yeah.
So there goes my entire night, which
Exactly.
is crazy. So like you went straight into the techno.
Yeah, 100%. So after VCL, I think we went to a lot of raves in Coda, but it was mostly clubby raves. We had no idea about format, Apollo, or anybody, just industry events and all the raves that they were.
And I feel there were not a lot of DIY events being thrown at that
Yeah.
time in the city, or maybe we didn't know about it. But
COVID threw everything off.
yeah,
So
100%.
COVID in Toronto, because like we experienced it. Like some places, if some people phased out, and then once it came back, it's like
everyone.
everyone wanted to
wanted
go
to
out.
go.
But do you guys think that if COVID didn't happen, the music industry in Toronto would be this popping?
I don't think so.
I
was-
would actually not know because I was not a raver before.
Yeah.
But I feel in
100% COVID, like people were inside. People wanted to go out.
People were
It
itching to
just-
go outside, yeah.
It just bloomed.
Even in India, it was the same thing. We were
Yeah.
all inside our homes for almost 1.5 years, 2 years.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it opened
Get a
up, people
chance.
went bonkers. They
Yeah.
were out there spending money every night. They
Yeah.
have to be out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an itch for us too to go
Yeah.
back. Even if I had to mask up, I went out. I didn't.
Yeah.
I did not care. So then shifting over to you, Sid.
yes, sir.
When you move to Canada?
Oh, we moved here together.
Oh, you guys
Yeah.
moved here together.
Okay,
Okay.
so a little history
Okay, yes.
about
Let's-
us.
Let's do this.
We've known each other for all our lives. We were in the same school. We've
Okay.
always been friends. And we started dating after we graduated school. But yeah, we've been friends our whole life. Yeah. Then we went to different colleges, yes. But after that, we planned to move out get a new experience for ourselves, and we're like, yeah, let's.
He passed the vibe check, right, Anshi?
100%.
After a little bit while,
As
it's
soon
just like
as I met him late, I knew he was the one back in.
We were two different human beings
Individuals,
back
yeah.
then.
it just took a bit of time. It's
Yeah,
just
doing
like,
our own
hmm.
thing, dating different people, and then kind of circling back and being like, yeah, I guess
That's my
this is
person.
this is what it is. So I gotta put my hand down on this.
So, okay, so like you dragged Anshi to her first rave. So
Yes.
Yeah.
what was your journey like with
Hmm.
this? Because you obviously,
So
you knew about
I
the
was
event.
always huge on electronic music, like back in the day, Yellow Claw and all the other EDM guys.
Skrillex.
Mhm.
I used to follow them a lot. And this happened, I guess, maybe 2021, like right after COVID. We planned a boys' trip with my friends and we went to Goa. And it was like a 5 night trip. And Goa is a place where you can party all days of the weekend and like consume different genres
Mhm.
from psychedelic to maybe tech house, progressive, melodic. So, and back then I was still new to techno. I had no clue what techno was. So we went in, we partied a lot, like 4 nights straight, and that's what introduced me to techno and more of the genres out there.
Mhm.
I attended Charlotte. Charlotte wasn't big
Yeah.
back then,
Mhm.
and it was really a low key party, maybe 300-400 people tops, really low key, and that's what put me on techno. And when we came here, we went to VCL. Why? Because Charlotte played a track by VCL.
Oh, so you
That's
had it
how I
saved,
knew
right?
VCL,
Mm.
and that's how we went to VCL. Else, I wouldn't have known who VCL was, and that would never been our first rave. So.
Who did you listen to before that a lot of people wouldn't know that you actually like? Like, considering how different your music changes.
Like, I guess Yellow Claw,
Yellow Claw,
Skrillex.
Skrillex.
Who was that guy? My memory is pretty bad, guys. Sorry about
when
this.
you go back, when you have to go back and find artists, like for me, it's like a David Guetta and like
Yes,
Yeah.
David Guetta. Like all those EDM guys that were popping back in
Big Room.
2015, 16.
And this is where the India scene's interesting because it was like now we'll get into like the India scene right now, but like back then it was just like the bigger names because
Yes.
I know back
Yeah.
in India it's like it was taboo to rave at
Yeah.
that time, right? With how
But the concerts were always huge.
yeah, their concerts were
Yes.
huge. Yeah,
They were huge, like
2,000,
easy
3,000
2,000 people for a Skrillex concert or a Yellow Claw concert.
what's the pricing like in India?
Pretty
compared to-
cheap, not
Really?
gonna lie. Like,
It's not cheap for the general public, but if you like are into the music scene, you wouldn't mind spending the money at all.
but yeah, back in the day, it wasn't expensive at all. We went to, I guess, DJ Snake and probably
Yeah.
paid like $15 a ticket. And it was a big show with probably 2,000 people there.
you know
Dave
that
and-
used to be here at one time.
Yeah, at it wasn't called Rebel, right?
It was
Sound
so
Academy.
It was Sound Academy, but then we had government too. We had like other venues. I went to like see popular artists. You're paying like $60 now for like
Yeah.
I know it's
Yeah,
a different it's a different time.
Inflation's crazy. you know?
Inflation's crazy, especially after COVID. So yeah, that's so about the India scene. So we've talked about like how it used to be kind of like a taboo to rave before, but now it's like crazy.
It is
Yeah.
popping.
And
It is
I
popping.
feel social media does play a huge role in
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
because it's out there. Everyone sees it. And the new generation, they don't feel as if it's a taboo.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
consuming it so much that times are shifting. And B2 was there recently. It's sold out show, 300
Pisapia
people.
was there.
It's
Sapia
also the
was there.
market potential. I think that's what it comes down to. Is just like
Exactly.
I know China had this big one, and now Southeast Asia is
Yeah.
having this because like, hey, if we bridge this,
Yeah.
we have thousands of
Thousands
people.
of
You can
people.
fill the room
Exactly.
way quicker than you
Yeah.
can in Toronto.
because like
Clan
population
Wrestler.
biggest
yeah.
biggest I think it's
Exactly.
like biggest country in the world now. I think.
But it is more of, I would say, like the cloud in India is fairly bigger than the cloud here. So for B2, it was like a sold out show, but for Pisapia, it was not.
It was not.
It was not.
But for Clank Wensler,
It-
people
Oh.
in Mumbai,
they went all
stormed.
crazy.
They fill up the warehouse
Yeah.
so quick. Like,
Yeah.
we can't fill up Clank Wensler here in Toronto
No.
that quick.
Yeah.
But they
So,
can.
Yeah, they can.
Now
Yeah.
you can.
Because they have a massive population.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and people know social media. People see
Yeah.
the videos. It's like someone does a tour. It's like, bam, I'm there.
People don't want to miss out too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because they're
it's
like,
FOMO.
oh, like I guess maybe it might change down the road, but now that India's popping, people are like, when's the next time I'm gonna be able to see Clang? I got to go,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you don't know, but now realistically in my head, I'm like, they know it's a success. They're coming back next year.
Yeah.
right?
Oh, they would.
Yeah.
Because those are the shows they actually make huge amounts of money on. I know they're planning to bring Sarah Landry for a
Yep.
three show tour in India in chat.
Huge fees.
Yeah.
It just
Huge
prints money.
fees.
It prints money for
It
them
prints-
too.
Exactly.
What about drinks? Is pricing for drinks? Well, what's it compared to Canada?
It's expensive than what you would pay here for drinks at a day. Like when we went to,
Yeah.
it's
Can say
expensive.
it's fairly similar or expensive, but the drinks they make there, they're crazy.
Yeah.
Like just the volume of it.
The volume is crazy. The guy in front of me, he made us a drink, and I kid you not, we asked for an LIT, and
One LIT
just
was
this
enough.
much Coke in it. That's about it. And the rest was pure alcohol. And one drink was enough to get me and Anshi done.
yeah. So
we
it's not even a double. It's like a triple or quad at this point. It's
Yeah.
just like
They don't
they're
care.
not
As
kidding.
long
They're
as they're
not
getting their
kidding.
money, they don't care how
Yeah.
much alcohol they put in.
crazy. I said India scene. Like I want to go. Like I have family back there. I actually want to go back and maybe plan a little rave around it just
And
to see.
there's a lot of underground things happening as well in
Yeah.
Delhi recently. There are a few
The room
the
where
few collectives, they're doing basement parties and they're playing tracks that we play here in Toronto and North America. So it's good to see that, and a lot of people coming out for that goes to show that the scene's growing. So
yeah.
What's so great is like music is so universal. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter where
Exactly.
you live or who you are.
exactly.
it's
Mhm.
just about the restrictions, I would say. In India, I think cops are way more strict than they
Oh,
are
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Or they would
They're-
bust down a party so quick.
Oh
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's
It's
true.
bad.
Yeah. So I guess I want to ask more of a personal question, especially as like you guys are raving as brown Indians too.
Brown
And-
Indians.
Brown
Hey,
Indians.
thank you.
I mean, so like, you guys have seen like the chatter too of like our local community. Sometimes we get a bit of flack too. But have you guys like, because people have asked me, I'm like, have you experienced racism while raving? I'm like, honestly, no.
N- None at all.
So as immigrants, like when you guys came, did you guys experience anything?
Not at all. So it was more for me as a first time raver. It was like an environment that was full of happy people.
Let
who
me
were
come in
welcoming
and say
you.
you don't look Indian half the time, so you don't face racism.
No,
So-
but it's not like that.
Talk to me, please.
But it is not like that. Like from a club culture, if you're transitioning into a raving culture, you realize that people are far more welcoming here. It's like
100%.
not a place to go stand in the front. People are just happy vibing with each other. Even when we started this collective, most of the people who supported us were Canadian white people. So they actually helped us bring this vision to life. So I
That's
personally
true.
have never faced this.
No, and I feel the same way. I think in the end, I know for everyone listening, I know with the flack, I think it literally just comes down to wear deodorant. Like it, but I think it doesn't. I think it doesn't matter. Like I think that's been the biggest stickler, and people associate that with like Indian people not wearing deodorant. But it's just like I think that's anyone. I've gone to raves
Exactly.
too, and I'm just like, yo, it smells so bad here. I'm like,
Who are those people? I spend a fortune on
Yeah,
deodorants and
but,
perfume.
but you know what? It goes. We're not gonna get too much. It goes back into politics and the immigration
Yeah.
stuff,
It is.
and you know how people. It's just all it takes is one person to say it, and then people chime in on that. But
I feel Indians, we're like pretty diverse. So you have people from all
All-
across the
yeah.
spectrum. There are people that don't wear deodorants, as you say,
Yeah.
but there are people who
Did-
We're
make
all
sure-
decked up.
Literally,
all
like-
decked up, like dripped out. I've seen Indian people who have like a fashion sense, who dress well, go out there, and it's all over the place. It's same
Yeah.
with everyone else. So
Yeah. in the end, guys, no matter who you are, wear deodorant
yes, and don't be racist.
and don't be racist. Our scene is lovely, and honestly, I love our Toronto scene because I've never experienced racism
Yeah.
in Toronto. scene.
Exactly. Like we started that deodorant booth at our raves recently.
Yeah.
We just wanted to do that
No.
because it was like
Even
a
when we said
sarcastic way
yes
to
to
do
it,
it.
me and Anshi were talking, and we are like, I don't want this to be a meme about us as Indians hosting an event and having a perfume booth at our event.
But they
But-
do that at festivals, though.
They do that at
They
festivals.
do.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was
Yeah.
like, okay, I didn't associate with Indian. I just associated with like a warehouse rave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People-
Hey, just put a bottle of hand sanitizer next to it, and then you'll be good.
Yeah.
It's a health station.
It was actually a touch-free. What was that?
Yeah, it was a touch-free
touch-free-
perfume.
Oh
booth.
yeah.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
go in front of it and it sprays on you, whatever you decide. So it was
Select
good.
what you want. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. As I said, wear deodorant, no matter who you are. So before we move on to the
Yes,
journey,
sir.
which is what I'm excited to talk about because what you guys have accomplished in a year has been crazy.
Appreciate
I just want to talk to you, Sid, about when you started DJing.
it.
Because you guys are obviously, as how anything starts, you go to raves, you go to the next rave, you go to the next rave, you go to the next rave, and you're like, what
Let
can
me
I do?
be a DJ.
Let me be, and especially
What
like,
can I do to level up?
and then it's also
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you start hosting party, and it's like, oh, people don't want to come unless someone DJs.
Yeah,
Let me-
right?
Is that essentially what ended up happening?
Kind of. I
Yeah,
think it
kind
went
of.
hand in hand with Takeover.
Yes.
Somehow.
So we thought about starting Takeover 6 back in 23 of March. So 2023 March. And we were just in the planning phase, see what's up, like just analyzing the whole scene. And then it kind of struck to me. And I was like, if I'm organizing events and I don't know how to DJ, I don't know the equipment, if something goes south, I should be the one to fix it. And
Yes.
that's how it started out. I just wanted to learn more about the equipment, how things go on a DJ deck. That's how it began. And when I started doing it, I fell in love with it, kept doing it more often, and now here we are DJing at events.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just at your face-to-face
Yes,
event, which
sir.
was like so cool with you and Veron.
Me and Veron, we have chemistry. Like we've
Yeah.
been doing back to
Oh,
back.
we could tell. We even said
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
after.
yeah,
It's just like,
yeah.
oh,
I'm like, yeah,
they were in sync on
They
that
should be
too.
dating.
Yeah.
They should be.
I guess you're the third wheel now.
Right?
She's always the third wheel when Veron's around.
Bromances are always life.
Always.
Yeah.
I
Always for
agree.
life.
I ship them so bad.
I don't have that chemistry with her that I
But
have
they
with
both
Seb.
They look each other into their eyes and they know what they're doing. It's so good to watch. It's
Like while DJing, it's like Seb's in my head and I'm in his head, and we're just doing our thing, and everything just falls in place. So I feel it's the countless amount of back-to-backs and after parties at our place
Yeah.
that's gotten us to this point.
Yeah. Shout out Veron. He is playing
Yeah.
the
Elect-
first EI weekend,
Yeah.
day one at
Yes.
stage 2.
You should be all
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
You should
Definitely-
all be there. Sorry.
Yes, you should be there because he like well, we always say the openers, like everyone for EI, they always go for the headliners, right? But the openers always kill it.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, especially with like that lineup too,
Yeah.
like with Measure Divide after,
Yeah.
Veron's gonna play something completely
He's
different than
gonna
Measure
play something
Divide.
different. He's
So
gonna
like
play
both of them will be so unique compared to everyone
Yeah.
else after, and then Zorza,
Yes.
obviously our local girls playing,
Yeah.
which is great to see her success, and then
Yeah.
from there it goes to the headliners and headliners.
Yeah, Seb's working on a special set for that weekend because he knows Fahad is
stakes are
gonna play
high.
right after him.
Yeah.
So he has to switch it up. He cannot play his usual.
No, I noticed that booking. I'm just like, oh, they're gonna have completely different sets, and it's worth it because it's not gonna be like one transitioning to the other. It's
Exactly.
gonna be like two different
two
vibes.
different sounds.
What's the
Yeah.
location? Is it Fort?
It's
Fort
right at
York.
Fort York.
Fort York.
York. Okay.
Right at Fort York,
Yeah.
which is like shit sound, but
Mhm.
great venue location.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the stage at which Veron's playing this year is gonna look really nice. The other day I was sitting with the Flow guys, and
It's the downstairs, right? It's under the Gardener.
yes,
Yes, yeah. That the venue, the actual location,
It's- it's
just the
key
sound.
location.
Sound's always the questionable part in
Yeah.
this location, but like that, the videos you get, it looks like a European rave where you
Exactly.
see like under the overpass. So
Yeah.
like, shout out to the organizer Electric Island.
Yeah.
It always looks cool. I know they can't do so much about
Yeah,
the
it's
sound.
the regulations.
It's the regulations.
but yeah, they're gonna kill it with the lighting.
I mean, we're okay here. We can just walk. we can just walk right there. So it's right. Oh, so they're gonna. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. So yeah, let's. So just you. Obviously, you started Takeover 6, and then you're like, I have to DJ.
Yeah.
Like I have to know to fix the equipment.
Yeah.
And from there,
So about a year, a little bit more than a year.
a little bit more than
A little
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
awesome. So let's get into your guys' journey. So you guys started raving in, you said 2021, right?
21, yes.
21. So obviously, like after
right
a year,
after college.
right after a year and a half of raving, it's
Yeah.
like.
Let's level up.
let's
level up. But you know what you mentioned? So you said early 2023. That's actually very surprising to me because I think your first post on Takeover 6 was like end of
23.
end
Yes.
of 23.
Yeah.
So the thought in your guys' head was like way before then.
That
Okay.
was
Yeah.
so. We were at Stella Bossy. It was happening at Koda, and
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I tell you, like, we did not like
Like
it
the clubby
at all.
culture.
Like the whole scene there.
Oh,
people
Stella
being,
Bossy.
Super
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
commercial.
people
Didn't
being
you go to that?
pushy.
The thing with Stella Bossy is like she's so sold, like it's so marketed. Her whole
Yeah.
thing is like this
Exactly.
marketing.
Yeah.
But
But-
beside the
Super
music,
commercial.
yeah, it's just
But I
super
get the reason
commercial.
for going because like, oh, I like this sound.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
But then when you go there, you're just like, this does not
Yeah,
work.
this
Yeah.
is not the vibe I want around me. And we left like shortly after. We didn't even stay for our full
Full
set.
set,
Yeah.
yeah.
We went back to our car, blasted music there, and that's when we chatted about, and we were like, wouldn't it be fun if we reach somewhere in life just raving, partying? And that's how the idea of Takeover 6 began. That same night, we
decided
the name.
It's
It's
been-
gonna be Takeover 6.
the
Oh,
most
y-
rebellious name
yes.
out there.
You know what was funny? When I pitched the podcast to Sani, we were at Brooklyn Mirage at
In New York.
Afterlife in
Yeah.
New York, and it's like the same sort of environment where you just
Yeah.
pitch it like,
It's kinda
how
like-
much more can I do?
It's like, no one's doing this. Why don't
Yeah.
we do it?
Exactly.
And I'm just like, dude, it's 4 a.m.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, we'll talk about it after.
Those 4 a.m. chats, they always get you places.
yeah.
And it was like a
True.
huge gap, like from us going to Coda and us realizing that there were not many warehouse raves or DIY spaces there at all in Toronto
Like,
when we
Yeah, it
came
was
here.
mostly people bringing artists, even
Or maybe we didn't
underground
know about
artists.
Format and Apollo that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't even know about Format Apollo until we posted about Takeover 6. Our first Format party was in January, like a month before our show. So we didn't know Apollo or Format existed.
Mhm.
We just knew that.
So you didn't even know about the competition?
Not
No.
at all. It
That's
was
we
just
just
two
knew
kids
there was
trying to
Yeah.
do
the
something
industry.
fun.
Yeah.
And we were just trying to do our own thing, just stay in our lane, do our thing. And yeah, that's about it. We just knew that the industry is doing events because those events were the ones we actually went to
Yeah.
in our early days. So yeah, we were just naive kids, I would say.
And even
Mhm.
with that knowledge, I would say during those times, industry events only had like 250 people, 300
Yeah.
people at
Yeah,
max. It
the
was
scene
not like a
wasn't
huge crowd.
huge, but over the past year, the growth has been tremendous. Like
We've seen
Now,
it. We've seen it.
1500
having
2,000
500-600
people.
people at a rave is not a huge deal. You can actually pull out 500-600 people.
Especially for something we consider underground, like
Yeah.
the music we listen to, especially like the techno, like the hard techno, all this
Yeah,
different styles. It's still considered underground.
Underground,
to an
it
extent,
is
right?
underground.
Just a larger audience.
Yeah, just a larger audience
It's
that you have to
it's just
accommodate.
the vantage point you see it from. I've like a lot of people argue what you're doing is not underground, it's commercial. Talk to the guys going for drum code. They'll tell you it's underground. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
just-
all
it's,
perspective.
it's perspective.
It's all perspective. Yeah, we
So-
call it business techno. You show up ready to go. It's like, but yeah, that's the perfect point right there,
Yeah.
right? Like it's
So-
whoever you talk to. So obviously, you think about it like after that rave, you're like, let's start this. But then what was going through your like until that entire year? How'd you feel in that year?
Finances. I would say finances was like a huge part of it because we didn't know how to generate money like during our first events. Like, so we used to give out free water bottles and
Our
water
concern
bottles.
wasn't even to make money. It was when it started off, it was just throwing the best party that there is that we can
We
That
pull
can
off.
you
do
felt
it,
passionate
yeah.
about,
Yeah.
right?
It was
Yeah.
just house parties on a bigger scale. That's what our
Exactly.
goal was. We used to do tons of after parties at our place, and
And as Indians, you have that thing in mind, right? If you're having guests at your place, you need everything to be perfect.
Yeah, it's true.
So I need
Hospitality.
drinks, I need ashtrays, I need cigarettes, I need whatever my
so we
guests
were
would need.
always commended upon for our hospitality. And I was like, we can take this and take it to a bigger scale and just try to do it with maybe 400 people at a rave. And
But you know what? It goes noticed, especially with where you guys now, because anytime I go to a Takeover 6 event, I always see both you guys running around.
yes,
especially you, Anshi.
Did you know that nearly 25% of adults experience hearing damage from loud noise exposure, like the music at clubs or festivals? Once it's gone, it's gone. That ringing you hear after a night out? It's a sign that your ears are crying for help. Hears provides earplugs that reduce noise levels by up to 21 decibels, enough to protect your hearing while still letting you feel the bass and enjoy the show. Get up to 30% off when you group buy with 5 friends. Click the link in the description now or scan the QR code on the screen. Don't wait till it's too late. Order today so you have it for your next event.
Especially you, Anshi. It's like I can catch you for a moment, and then you're gone.
Yeah.
And like I gotta go.
It is. I actually, that's the only thing that we want to keep different from all the other collectors. Maybe they're doing it as well, but for us, it's like a huge part that we know everybody by their face. Maybe
Maybe
we
not
don't
by
get it.
name, but
Yeah, but by the
100%
face,
by
yeah.
face. Like,
We love to talk to people.
I try my
Yeah.
best to say hi, have short conversation with everyone who walks in. So I feel that's what makes us different, because that makes people feel
Makes
a
you
sense of
personable.
belonging.
Personable,
a
right? And
personal
this is
touch,
where
yes.
you build your community,
Exactly.
which we'll get
Exactly.
more into for sure.
Yes, sir.
So when after that rave, you're like, you guys were looking at the finances, like how can we do this, or like
Yeah.
like obviously testing with house parties and stuff like that. And then was the genre focus always going to be techno,
It was
Initially,
always going to be
yes.
hard techno, because
hard
hard
techno?
techno
Okay.
is what drew us into the whole scene. And as soon as we started listening to it, we loved
We
it.
loved it.
Yeah.
We
The energy
absolutely-
it gives you, it's insane.
And yeah, we were what, 23 then?
23.
It's
yeah.
attracted younger crowds
Yeah.
for sure, so which also makes
So-
sense too, because a lot of people associate drumco with like more mature, more older
Yeah.
crowd.
Yeah.
So the hard techno has brought out the younger. A lot of the people
Yeah.
I know go to hard techno. There are literally in
Yeah.
university or just out of university, right?
Because it requires energy, like 150
Yeah.
BPM throughout the night. You need energy to be able to stand it. And
Get out of the warehouse drenched at 5 a.m. in the morning.
And then do it
Yes.
again the next day.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Weekend vendor.
And then do it again the next day.
Yeah.
And I saw the same thing, like even now you see it in Europe too, like with what sounds are popping off there. You go to these techno events and you're like, man, they're all like 20-year-olds,
Yeah.
which makes sense, right? I think that sound has attracted a younger generation.
Yeah.
So obviously you found your market. You
Yes.
knew you
Yeah.
were gonna do hard techno. So let's talk about the first event you guys did. So now you've launched the logo at the end of I think 2023, right?
Yeah.
You know one thing about the hard techno also, it's good that you guys mentioned it, because I think that was the year it popped off.
yes.
Yeah.
I think that was the year where I'm gonna reference the Telettech like
Yeah.
Sarah Landry set that everyone saw.
Exactly.
So I think like as you're planning, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
this shit's, because like another thing is like at that point when you're thinking about it, it's more underground. Hard techno wasn't even really, I can't even recall a hard techno show in
Yeah.
2023 from my.
There were a few.
There was like very, very limited.
We're trying
but
to open
mostly
the
by
vault now. It's like so
tribunal
far
or
back.
the
Like we
industry.
said,
Only those guys were
exactly.
doing hard
Yeah.
techno back
We
then.
only knew industry when we
Yeah.
came in, so there was not like a lot of ads, social media, Insta pages going on.
Yeah, it
which-
was really underground back then. Like if you knew about it, only then you'd go.
That's true.
Else,
Yeah.
it was
Otherwise
not
you
out there.
wouldn't.
Out there, like
Yeah.
VCL popped up on my Instagram as an ad, because I don't know what the algorithm picked up, but it wasn't like out there so much in 2023 at least.
Mhm.
24, it just
even with the first event, like if you like go to Vortex, Protoxide, and Scone, they're not like techno. They're
Yeah,
techno
that's what I
with
was
a
about to
K.
say. They're
Techno
not
with a
like,
K.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Techno
So-
with the kick. I love
Techno-
that. That's exactly
Yeah.
what we say too. Okay, so yeah, now let's go to the first event. You guys have done this. The heart, I mean, it worked in your favor, the hard techno, just like, oh, people know who Sarah Landry is,
Yeah.
right? Because at that point, I had so many people who was like, who's Sarah Landry? I'm like, you don't know who Sarah Landry is? Like now she's
go
the
open
face.
YouTube.
Now she's the face of hard techno, and she's
Yes.
doing great for the scene. Obviously, you can go into the argument she's mainstream, blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah. But
She's giving everyone a gateway to
Yeah.
enter the scene,
and then branch out to
and
other
then
genres.
people can branch out to whatever they like. I started off at hard techno. I do hard groove, hypnotic, every sorts of techno now, because it actually opened me up to all the other genres that there are. And I feel that's the case with most of the people out there. Like after a while, they want to switch up,
Yeah.
see what's new.
and just for everyone listening too, you always have to respect those people who bridge the way,
Yeah.
because even though like you may not like Sarah Landry, you may not like Nico Moreno or Shlomo because they changed their sound to mainstream.
Yeah,
Just remember that those guys bridge the way to drag the mid-tier guys
exactly.
along the way
Yeah.
Exactly.
to accelerate their careers. And
They're
push the
bringing
scene.
more people into the scene. They're bringing more money into the scene, making it all the more feasible for promoters
Yeah.
and party goers in general. Like they're working for the scene. So
And this goes for any genre. Like I always like to reference Armin van Buren because everyone's like, oh, he's a sellout, he's mainstream. But you have to realize what Armin has done for the scene has generated thousands of jobs probably for the mid-tier guys to come along the way, right?
Exactly.
100%.
So you always have to respect. Okay, so your first event, the Vortex one. Like how is that like it's like, oh shit, we're going to do this. What was you guys thinking of that? Like,
So we were probably reaching out to like couple of artists, and we weren't getting any
We also
bookings
reached
at
to
all.
Sarah Landry and Ogus back then. we were going crazy with those emails.
It was so
you
fun.
never know who says yes.
Yes.
And Ogu
It's
said
essentially-
yes to us. They said, but
They
we
just
just
asked
didn't have the
for
budget
a
it.
price that we were too new to pay.
Yeah.
But we always say, if you don't ask, you don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? So everyone has their price. Ogu's at that time was also taking off
Yeah.
because with the Telettech and like he did he had the live streams out there. So yeah, until you ask, it's like, okay.
Yeah, we wanted to start off our brand with like a bigger event, not like a small scale event with local lineups. So when we reached out to Ogus and the other artists, we realized that's way out of our budget. So then we reached out to, I think, Inferno.
It was Modze, I guess.
We reached out to another artist. We had like a whole gig planned, and we found out that there was some visa issues with that artist. So Protoxide, Vortex, and Scone was like our last option. We got it.
Are
And
they from Montreal or were they
They're
from?
French guys.
they're
Oh,
French
yeah,
guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
They've
yeah.
already played
No
in
visa
Montreal.
issues. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I've just got tall legs, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we got them, and we didn't actually know that they have like a fan base here at all. We had no idea about it,
But
but
they had a
also
huge fan
huge
base.
Yeah.
fan base.
Mm.
Specifically,
this
I
guy,
would
this
say
guy, this
Vortex.
guy.
I was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I even tried to get this guy to go, but he didn't buy.
I didn't go.
I don't know where
Because
he went, but yeah.
The people that we were hanging around with at that time and the scene we were with, they did not know much about Protoxide and techno with a K and everything.
Yeah.
But then when we announced the show, we saw that a lot of people who listen to underground tech, they came out, like older people as well. There were a lot of people in their 40s who came out for their show, and they were like, "You're bringing Vortex? You're bringing Vortex?" And back then, we did not know it was such a
It's a
huge
huge
deal.
deal, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? It goes back to like you listen to a sound now, it's like it's so unique.
Yes.
As I said,
It is
it's the
unique.
hard techno with a kick.
Yes.
That little
Exactly.
extra
Yes.
kick.
Exactly.
And at that time, you're just like some of the sounds he makes like influences some dubstep stuff too,
Yes.
which is very popular here. But at that time, you didn't know. Right?
Yeah.
we didn't. We were just kids. We were
You just
thinking-
like the music that
You
you
just like
Yeah.
the music,
We
right?
just
If
wanted
it
to throw
sounds
parties,
good,
guys.
then-
Yeah, we just wanted to throw parties.
Everyone, I mean, that's what it is, right? You
Yeah.
got you see the void, and it's like, hey, I think we can do this, but you obviously have to work out all the
Yeah.
finances. That first event's always stressful.
Yeah, but the only thing that we were really adamant about was that we won't throw it like any clubs or anywhere. We just wanted to throw it anywhere but a DIY space. We wanted a DIY space for us. Like even when we spoke to the body shop guys, they were throwing events for Paradox.
Paradox, Carousel was their
Yeah.
own in-house collective. They were throwing events
But they were
for.
super welcoming. So our first event was like
Fellow brown people running the space.
Yeah.
they were super open to
They've
us.
always been nice. Like those guys actually put us on the map. They had been super accommodating with everything. So shout out to Body Shop crew. I know
Yeah.
it's not there anymore, but
Yeah.
they'll come back.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, it's not there anymore.
Nah, they
The
had
Body
to
Shop shut down.
Oh, I didn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess maybe a couple months ago.
You
that
know
they
why I
shut
didn't
down.
notice that? Because of all these other mini venues popping up. I'm like,
Yeah.
how'd this
Yeah.
work out? I'm like,
Yeah.
how's this a venue now? Okay, cool. Yeah, but we like that space.
we like the new we like that space and we like all the new
space,
the
yeah.
new
the
spaces
new space.
because it is nice like going to Coda, but then I feel like it's you don't get as the crowds are different.
Yeah.
The crowds are different.
Yeah.
Plus, there's this feeling that you get when you're at a rave. You just don't have it at Coda. That's my personal opinion on it.
yeah.
Whenever I've gone to Coda, yeah, the party was great, but did I feel nice on the inside? Like,
As a raver,
Probably not.
no.
you
Probably
know what?
not.
It comes back to exactly what you just said, Anshi. As a raver, it's like you're missing the soul of the music.
exactly.
Exactly.
You know, like I like Coda for what it is.
like
It's a
Coda
good
too.
party.
They've
But,
got
like,
the best
but in
sound
ter-
system in the city
They
too.
have like
Yeah.
the best sound system. But it's like you're missing the essence of the rave. I
Yes.
find like the raw
Yeah.
grittiness that
Yeah.
we
Like
all
the
love.
The
underground
sweaty
feel.
warehouses,
we
yeah.
love. That we love, where it's like you're only here if you actually genuinely
You
enjoy
want
the
to
mu-
be here.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no boots. There's no. I find once you introduce boots, that opens a whole nother worm
Void,
of like
yeah.
like a crowd you get, especially like with how Coda has to be as diverse. Any of these clubs, but like when you do a warehouse rave, it's the soul. Like no one wants to go on a Saturday and sweat their like be in like an 80-degree, I don't know, like however hot it is, and like sweat unless the music is that good. Right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So-
yeah. Even during our first event, we were like, yeah, if we pull 80 people, it's going to be a success for us. We were constantly checking our rave because it was our first event. Everything was so new because 100 followers, yeah, we are celebrating. 100 tickets, yeah, we are celebrating.
Yeah.
First $1,000, we were celebrating.
But
And
I
then-
feel we all worked well together as a
Yeah.
crew with pushing out the event. Like, we were out there everywhere with physical flyers, promotion on Instagram.
I remember.
Everything. Like, there's not one door we did not knock to push out
Yeah.
the first event. And a lot of support from Seb, Nico, and all of the DJs who were on the lineup. So, and at the end, we pulled 250 people on that show. And
It felt so
Crazy.
nice saying
I had
sold
to
out.
say, it was such a weird feeling that I had to say no to people at the door because we were at capacity and security
And
wasn't
they're
allowed.
very strict there too.
They're
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
strict
yeah.
about it. And I didn't think I'd be in this situation where I'd say, sorry, man, we're at capacity. We cannot have you.
That's crazy. I
So-
mean, that's a good feeling, right?
Yeah.
That's
It was an amazing.
so what? One question: the Takeover 6 team. How big is the when you started? How big was the team? Like,
It was we actually started just me and Sid, and
Okay.
then we had another friend jump in, Ganga, and then we had another friend Vishnu come in. So it's actually 4 of us, and then most of our crew actually met us at our first rave. Like, if you think about
Yes,
it, Simon,
Simon,
Keandra.
Andrew.
That's how it works,
we,
right?
We all met at the first rave, and
So
they've been coming ever
Simon-
since.
Simon, who's also DJing in DNV these days, and Techno Bunny, you all know, they
Yes.
were our front row ravers at the first event. And then we just hit it off. We just met after the event and just figured out that we're just the same person, just living in a different different country.
And this is where it goes back to being so personable, having that conversation, especially where you guys are now. I consider you guys very successful for where you guys are right now, especially with what you're booking.
Cheers.
But having that personal conversation where anyone can go up to you and have a normal conversation, that just does.
That's how I want it to be at our events. Like, it
Exactly.
should be an open space for anyone and everyone. Just come in, chill out, have the best time.
Mhm.
then
Even
go
with
back
our
in.
social media platforms, like, it's never like I'm gonna hire a social media manager for us to send those messages. I always want those messages to be personable. So if they're like tagging us after an event, I'm always like, thank you so much for coming. You
Yeah,
were
she's
amazing.
on it.
And we've noted, well,
always.
we've gotten it too.
Even
I
if
bet.
it's like 100 messages, I love doing that.
Yeah.
And people like telling us the feedbacks they give us. I love just talking to them because that's what actually helps you grow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it motivates you. It's just like, wow, someone's reaching out to me or like posting my video or tagging us.
Yeah.
Because you guys post anyone who tag. I think you guys post like everything,
Everything.
like everything. But honestly, like, yeah, your feed is cluttered, but it's just like it's your way of showing appreciation to whoever's
Exactly.
tagging you, which
It's got its pros and cons, but
Yeah.
the pros outweigh the
Yeah.
cons.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a
my
lot of
feed-
work.
My feed can be cluttered, yes, but the person who tagged us is gonna feel special if we reshare it.
Reshare.
Yeah.
Because as ravers, we
Because
used to feel
we've
that
been in
too,
that
right?
place where we used to tag other collectives and they used to reshare our posts, and we used to feel like, wow, nice. They're seeing
someone
it.
someone saw it.
Yeah,
and like,
someone's seeing it. Someone's listening to us. So
Yeah.
we just wanna give back.
A little
Yeah.
bit more personalization. Yeah.
yeah.
That goes a long way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
it
It really
does.
does.
So that first event, what was the biggest lesson learned you guys did after the first event?
I think
Things need to be
organization.
more organized.
Yeah, because we were all over the place. If you look at like Body Shop Studios, it's not a very huge venue. It's not
And
a
we were
very
still all
huge
over the
Yeah,
place.
we were. I remember jumping off from the backstage to the bar, and there were people everywhere. We had no idea how to handle that. There were
Our code
lines
check
for
was
washroom.
stacked because we weren't
Ye-
expecting so many people to show up. So Vishnu was actually working the code check while the event was going on with the crew.
But you know what? That's common for any organizer I see.
Yeah.
Like when I work with when we talked Electric Escape, like I talked to Jolo quite a bit, and
Oh.
he's always the guy scanning tickets in the front. Man, I'm like, man, they got you working tickets. It's like, man, yeah. There's so many people
Jolo
coming
is
in.
a gem.
He's a good
I
energy
love
to
his
have at
energy.
the
door.
He's always so energetic. I've worked with him a couple times now. Amazing human being.
But just seeing him at the front, that's
Yeah.
what you want to see. That's
Exactly.
how you,
Yeah.
that's how you push your, like, in this day and age with social media, being so personal
Yes,
is so key.
it's key.
100%.
That's why she's always at the door, or it's me at the door. We keep switching it up, but we have a door guy, yes, but Anshi or me has to
Some
be
way
there.
or the other, you just have to show your face to the audience so that they know that they're coming to the rave for you and the collective and the
They
artist.
are
It's
actual
not just
people
dependent
running
on
this
one the one.
event,
Exactly.
not
It's the entire experience.
Exactly.
Is also that
not
matters.
just two organizers sitting in the green room the whole event. They don't even know who they booked.
Or it's like, and this is the thing too. It's just like, oh, all the stress of planning the event, but then the event happens, and mindset would be, okay, relax, right? That is definitely
That's
not.
not happening.
that's-
It's actually come to the point now. Now we're like way more relaxed because
because
things
we have
are
an
like,
actual
You've-
team
team,
now.
yeah.
People have their own roles.
trial and error. That's
Yeah.
all it takes.
the
Trial and
problem
error.
is that we don't trust anybody. It's just us. We're like, we just go give somebody this job to do, and then after 5 minutes, either him or I would be there, and we would be just overseeing all the
We
tasks.
just
what
love
they're doing.
micromanaging. I
Yeah.
would say. I'd give a task to
But our
someone,
crew is
but
But
like
you know what? I
amazing.
think everyone's like that.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's because it's your
Baby.
you started, right? It's
Yes.
your
Yeah.
baby, so
Yeah.
you want to be involved in everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We've talked about industry a bunch. I know Nev too. Like, oh my god, it's just like all over the place. It's just like
Yeah.
it's like, does the man even sleep?
Oh,
We don't
in
know.
his early days, I used to see him running up and down the events. Like half the time, he'd have a stressful face because there's so much going on. And now that I'm there, I know what
They
he was, I know what he was feeling back
Yeah.
then. So
But once again, that's where you can see the passion
yeah,
in
Exactly.
whoever's running it. It's just like, yeah, it's,
You take
it's-
it personally.
you take it personally
Yeah.
that like if this event doesn't do well, it actually
It-
physically hurts me for
yeah.
how much I put in. So obviously so wait, you went to the event, Benny. What
Yeah.
did you see as a raver going to the event?
three
What-
organizers running up and down the venue.
I thought it was a great event. The music was fantastic, and the
Yeah.
free water bottles definitely welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the free water bottles has a great story as well. We were actually at a rave and he was pretty sweaty and he
Yeah, I
wanted
was sweating my soul out, and we had a snowstorm outside, so my car was parked right outside. My wallet was in it, and at the last event I went, they were taking e-transfer, so I just left my wallet, brought my phone with me, and that's about it. So I go to the bar and pour a water bottle, and I'm drenched in sweat. The guy's like $4. Like, yeah, what's your ET? And he's like, we don't take ETs, only cash and card. I'm like, okay, I'll get you the cash. Just give me a water bottle. I need it like really bad.
Yeah.
I'll come back and pay you. And of course, he did not. And that kind of did not sit well with me. And that's why we started off doing this whole free water bottle thing. And yeah, we did it for a couple events, yes, but then again, we were losing so much revenue, and
Yeah.
No, yeah,
it wasn't feasible for us at all to do that because the costs for the event were pretty high already
Yeah.
with the production and artist
DIY
fees and
spaces.
everything and DIY spaces. So
It's
We-
definitely a nice gesture, but yes,
Yes.
like as you grow, as you throw
In
more
the long
events, you're
term,
like,
you
hey, like
yeah.
guys, we kind
But
of
yeah,
have to
I
do this.
still like my bartenders whenever we're running the event, I've told them if anyone comes in and you visually see them
they need
in
water.
a bad spot, just give them a water bottle. I do not care if they have money or no. Like we've done it ourselves. At the backstage, we always
We
have a crate
crate of
full of
water
water,
bottle.
and if we see someone who's in need and they just ask for it, pop them a water bottle.
And
It doesn't cost much. Like
Yeah.
it's cheap.
Especially if you go to Costco, it's not like
It's
it's
not much
nothing.
at all.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
nothing.
but in the end, I think as I said, like the transition to you guys, I mean, I don't think anyone really noticed. I know I didn't notice. It's just
Mhm.
like, okay, because you pay for water everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But like that's the mindset that where you guys are now, the success is like that care for the environment, especially in the underground scene,
Yeah.
which we never know, especially with what happened this past 2 weeks with the counselor and hosting
Yeah.
events.
Yeah.
And we're just like, you never know like how the scene can be affected, right? So
Yeah.
building that community
it's
is
the rainy day fun.
yeah.
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 So the first event went well.
Mhm.
But you know where you guys got traction, at least from the people we know and the people, is the
Oh,
Telettech.
Telettech.
The
Yeah.
Telettech event. So that was wild to just
That came out of nowhere.
especially and the crazy thing is like obviously we just talked about Sarah Landry, her set too, and it's just like, wait, Telettech in North America? What? Okay, so you guys have to break it down because obviously before your first event, that discussion was happening or starting to happen.
Kind of.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were actually asked to be promoters on the show, Telettech.
well,
Yeah.
Let me break it down to you. She just knows tiny bits of it. I'll give you
Okay.
the exact. I'll give you. I'll give you the detailed tea for this. So, Daksh, the guy who was running Summon Presents, and they were mostly doing house and melodic techno events. It was his idea to bring Telettech into the city, but of course, he did not have the crowd for it. And we were just starting off, and he'd seen us going on about our thing, and he knew we had people behind us as a community that we can pull to an event. So he reaches out to me. He's like, "Hey, we're bringing Telettech. Do you guys want to be promoters? Well, I'll give you 15% of whatever you sell." I'm like, "I don't need 15%. Put me on the show. I'll promote it regardless, but put me on the show. I want to be a partner in this show." And that's how it all began. So it was us, Summon, and House Official
Yes.
who threw that event.
And to be honest, and as ravers at that time, we're just like, who? Who?
Exactly.
House
who?
Collective's throwing a huge Telettech.
Exactly. So that's how it all began. And initially, it was gonna be at Grand Bazaar.
I heard that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was gonna be at Grand Bazaar. But as soon as I jumped on board, I was like, guys, there is no way we're doing Telettech at
DIY
Grand Bazaar. Like,
spaces.
I'd rather cancel the whole event than do it at Grand Bazaar. So that's what pushed us to find a DIY space. We looked into McCormack, but of course, it was booked already, with Rebecca performing there with Apollo the same day.
Oh, just to cut in, this guy went to Telettech and then went to Rebecca after.
Oh, that's the real
Almost
one.
Because I was okay. So as like I'm like I love Rebecca. Like as like she does that hard techno, and the way she does her live element,
Yeah,
I absolutely love her.
She's
but then
talented.
I'm like, fuck, Telettech's here.
And it was so far away.
Yeah.
Well, I live Mississauga, so for me, I'm like, I'm just making a pit stop and then I'm going home because I went to the arena first.
Yeah.
So I didn't see most of alignment. I didn't see
Because alignment was on and it was sick. And then this guy was like, "Yo, I'm gonna leave." I'm like, "No way, you're leaving right now."
So then these guys look at me, "You're not leaving, and I'm like, I really want to see Rebecca. so I did leave, but it was just like, yeah, the moment it was like leading up to the event as ravers, there was a lot of question marks. Even people in
Yeah.
the community,
Oh,
like
we had a lot of question
lot
marks
of people,
ourselves.
yeah. And it wasn't even through the general public, I would say. It was through most of the people who were in the industry.
yeah, it was
The
that was that.
organizer.
And
And it was
Not
kind
the
of...
industry, in the scene.
Yeah, in
Let
the
me
scene.
rephrase that for you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the people were questioning all aspects of it. House people throwing
Like,
techno events.
I had
Like, is this real? Is this even
Like,
Yeah, is
Telettech?
this
I'm
even
not gonna
happening?
name names, but I had people come up to me and be like, "Why are house and melodic techno people throwing Telettech? They don't even know about our scene." And
But music
my
is
answer
for everyone.
to my answer to
Exactly.
that was, that's where I come into play.
Yeah.
I'm a part of this scene, and
And-
I'm actually doing techno.
And to be honest, this is where the visionary aspect of what you originally wanted to do, where you said, "Where's these warehouse raves?" And when they said Grand Bazaar, it's like, no,
No.
because this is what I'm trying to avoid.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
This is exactly what I'm trying to avoid, because what happens at Grand Bazaar? Well, you're gonna get a booth crowd. And
Yeah.
that makes no
and
sense.
then
for
at the
Telettech.
end, we'll have people bashing us on social media for tarnishing Telettech for them forever. And I'm not gonna
was
take
such
that
a
on me.
controversial time. We used to be at TRC the whole day, and people were tagging Takeover and just slamming us for no reason. Like, wait, see the event, see what we've planned for
And
you.
this is where I mean, I don't think I haven't seen an event since that's had that much like question mark. Am I being
Well,
scammed?
Zamna was kinda
Okay,
there.
Zamna too. Zamna. Okay,
there was a lot of tension around that event because we had it the same day as
Rebecca.
Apollo and
Yeah.
Rebecca, and
The people-
I had my fair share of comments on Facebook.
I think I remember that. We won't go too much into it, but I remember it's kind of like,
And
who are these?
I didn't know who Joel was back then. I thought it was just someone on social media who's going on about the event, and I'm like too protective about my thing.
You guys had no choice on the date. Like the date,
No
was-
choice. No,
it
it was
had-
already decided. We didn't even know Rebecca was gonna play on the same day.
Okay,
So, and back
It-
then we
it's
were
a hard
naive.
decision. It's a hard
We
decision.
were
Yeah.
naive. We didn't know what was going on around. We was just head down and just do your own thing. So
Yeah, as a raver, as a scene, I hit both events, but it's kind of like as a raver, I don't like it when you book the same type of
Same,
music.
exactly.
It's hard.
But I get it from a organized perspective. Like, hey, we had no choice and we
Yeah.
had no idea,
Exactly.
right? But
But it came out to be like the most amazing thing that could ever happen, because after Telettech finished, I saw all the other collective and all the other organizers coming on TRC and praising us for that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was huge. It was nice.
and I feel there was a shift after that.
yeah.
People switching to more unconventional
Yeah,
spaces
yeah.
and
For sure.
just moving away from the whole club culture thing.
You know what I really appreciated? The shuttle bus.
The shuttle bus,
Yeah.
yeah.
like just
Yeah.
that little thought, because
Yeah.
it's like, hey, we know this is out of the way, because there has been Markham Fairgrounds.
Mhm.
There was events at Markham Fairgrounds. There's no shuttle bus that anyone was
Nah,
organizing at
yeah.
Markham Fairgrounds. No, get your ass over there
exactly.
by driving, right? And
And-
then our scene. We say vitamins. Like there's a lot of vitamins out there.
Yeah.
So you're expecting people to go to Markham Fairgrounds, potentially do, and then be at a risk.
Yeah.
You never know, right? Because
Yeah.
Ubers aren't common there,
Yeah.
or like it's like in
Plus, Ubers are expensive.
Yeah,
It's
for most of-
expensive.
Most
From
of the
there,
crowd
yeah.
that's
So,
coming to our events.
How much was it for the shuttle? It was not expensive.
It
like
was
$10.
not.
It
It
was
was,
like
I guess,
25.
35 bucks
Oh,
both
okay.
ways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
not expensive at all. Like when we announced the venue, and it took us a lot of time to finalize this venue because I still did not want us to go so far away from the
Yeah.
city's center, but we didn't have any choice. Like we tried getting McCormack, but we couldn't. So of
But what's
course-
your thought about venues further away from the city now?
I think it's actually mix of people. Like some people, when we have venues far away, they're super happy because it's super close to their home
Yeah.
and they don't want to
Yeah.
travel to downtown.
Yeah.
Exactly.
McCormick?
there were only
Like,
a handful of people who had problems with the venue being far away, because most of the crowd was like, I've never gotten to an event in just 10 minutes right
Yeah.
off the
Yeah.
highway, and
Yeah.
it's unknown for them because they have to usually drive 1 hour to get from maybe Scarborough to downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
And we had friends like that too. I have a friend who's not into hard techno. He's like, this is 5 minutes away from my house. Why wouldn't I attend?
Yeah.
Right? It's more like any new friends going.
Yeah.
So it's like 5 minutes away from my house, like blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Like what we also find is that there are just GTA is huge. There's
Yeah.
a lot of ravers who come from Markham, North
Yes.
York, Mississauga
Exactly.
that go downtown every time.
Yeah.
That's
People
nice to-
coming
nice to
from
give a little back,
Oshawa
right?
And then
Yeah.
you have the option of shuttle buses too, if you want.
You guys, as I said,
We
there's
did the
literally-
shuttle
There's
bus.
literally nothing else you could have offered to
Exactly.
downtown
Yeah.
people to go to the
The
event.
funny part about that, a lot of people bashed us for, like, people were like, why is the venue in the middle of nowhere? And then we came up with the idea, okay, let's do shuttle services. So it's easier for people.
Yeah.
Could not even fill one
One
bus up.
bus, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I know some people that took the bus though.
They did.
Yeah.
But
we
you
had like
couldn't
50
fill-
seats in a bus and we filled, I guess, maybe 36, 37.
Yeah.
We thought we'd need more
Mhm.
because the amount of bashing we got for the venue being far away. We didn't even fill one bus up.
Where
so-
was the pickup for the shuttle?
Union?
Union,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
We
So
had like
you guys didn't lose money on that, right? Because you
No.
guys were able to just we only
more
need
or
one
less,
bus.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's where ticket sales come in. It's like, oh, we know.
Money wasn't like even the priority with that
Yes.
event. We just knew it was going to be such a huge event. It's gonna get us to so many more
Yeah.
places,
Open
more
more doors,
connections.
right? Yeah,
Exactly.
But it had to go well.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
had,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it did. It
And it
did.
did.
Our-
Somehow.
our goal was to pull as many people as we can for that event because we knew it's Telettech, it's gonna be huge. So money wasn't our first priority on it.
Because you want like the profits from running events is nice,
Yeah.
but you want to use the profit to grow and
Exactly.
be bigger. That's
Exactly.
why
I mean-
you want to make profit because you
I'm
want to
fine
grow.
with losing money as long as we can market ourselves and just build a bigger community in
It's
the
the risk
process.
reward. You guys also
Exactly.
knew Teletech literally had its moment the year before. Now
Yeah.
it's a huge
Yeah.
brand worldwide,
Yeah.
huge brand. But you guys knew it's like, hey, if we capitalize on it, like the risk reward is insane. Like
Yeah.
we like just for like with social media nowadays
Yeah.
too. And that's what you just said, Anshi. The next day, I remember all those comments saying like,
Yeah.
wow, what
yeah.
a great
I
event.
still
was,
get
it was.
messages saying that was the best event that people have ever attended because it was in an ice rink in North America. It's meant
Because
to
you know
be.
what? You know what? Like as a raver who went, me and Ben, we met up. We free parking.
Yeah.
We're in the parking lot. Okay, cool. Quick to get inside. Okay, cool. And then you're going to an ice arena, and all you're used to is sweaty warehouse raves.
Yeah.
Because at that time, McCormick, ventilation was not good in
Yeah.
that main room.
It's still
a-
not that
it's-
great.
It's gotten better. No, it has gotten better. I will say
It's
McCormick-
better now, but
it's-
still can be improved.
Yeah,
Yes.
but like then you're going to an arena. It's like, wow, it's nice and chilly here, right? Especially for a rave. And then you guys have the sound setup. Now I will say less is set, maybe like a little bit lower on the sound thing.
This-
But when
Yeah.
alignment came on, and this is why this guy turned me, you're not leaving.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, because at one point we were like, the sound's kind of like weird. Plus,
Yeah.
I think at that time we've seen a big shift recently, and you guys definitely know, of like more portable sound
Yeah.
where venues, and this is where all the random venues that keep coming up and sound good because all these new void acoustics, funk, like they've now gotten to a point where they can centralize the sound
Yeah.
and it sounds good no matter where you put it. And I think
They've got so much data now that they know how to set it up.
And-
whatever venue you take it
Yeah.
to.
you might need to move a little bit in. Or maybe we push.
Yes,
Oh,
that'd be
man.
amazing. If I go in, then my leg hits this. So,
Tall guy problems.
Okay.
yeah. all
Well,
good
we gotta get
guys.
an extension for this.
But-
she's got a longer.
No, that's just
Never mind. Guys.
but yeah, it goes back to the point. It's just like the venues, like all this sound system. It's now at a point where I'm like anything can work.
Exactly.
Which is great. And you guys use voids for those ones, right? I think it was
Yes.
void setup.
Voids.
So we used Tyler's full arsenal, and on top of that, we had Noor from Reecho bringing his arsenal. So we had 5 dual subs and 6 more subs in it. Oh, 4 more subs in it.
Oh, you felt it when alignment came on. And you know
Yes.
what? Alignment's hype was good at that time too. That's why I was
Yeah,
like, I'm
yeah,
like,
it was.
Yeah.
because like all his like he had some more tracks that were released that were just bangers, right?
Yeah.
So like you just knew the songs and Lessa's set was like a little bit lower for some reason, the sound. And then the moment alignment came on, the bass kicked in. We're all looking at each other. It's like, holy shit. Like this is actually insane. And then I left. but I got to experience
Oh.
half an hour of the set.
You did not stay long enough for Azer.
I did not.
Yeah.
Oh.
Azer
Yeah,
was
Azer
the
was
highlight
came
of the
on.
night.
Yeah, he was.
When
Like,
he came on, I feel the crowd went rowdy for some reason. They were all on the edge when Azer was on. They were just ridiculous. Everyone was being ridiculous when Azer came on.
I
Yeah.
think that's Azer's energy.
He
Yeah.
just,
It
he
just
He's a
oozes so
great
much energy.
closer energy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
insane. Plus, like you've always seen the videos of him shirtless. Like he's going just as hard as the guy in the front. who's
Yeah.
also- like,
Exactly.
Exactly.
And it's been the same since his first video on Instagram to his last video that he posted like 2
Literally
days
the-
ago. The energy is same.
Mhm.
The same.
Chillest dude out there.
Yeah.
I met him, had a real nice conversation with him. He's 24.
Yeah, he's 24.
Super young.
It's even with Telettech is a recent brand too.
Yeah.
I actually went to the Telettech festival in 2024. So
Yeah.
last year.
last year.
No,
2024.
2023. Wait, no, I went last year. Holy
Last
shit.
year.
Oh my God, man, this year's a blur. Okay. I went last year when it was a 2-day event, and like even them, like I think it was only like that was their 3rd year doing it. So even for them, like it's exponentially like skyrocketed.
Yeah.
But it comes
Yeah.
back to the same thing. They got the UK community around them.
Yes.
So like that Manchester community lives like the pride behind,
yeah.
and this is where the Takeover 6 name is great. The pride behind Telettech, you can feel it in the Manchester community, which
Yes.
is like really good. Like,
yeah.
Really
Like,
cool.
They recently sold out like a 10,000 people arena in Manchester where Azer was playing 2-day event.
Yeah,
Jesus, that was
he's
huge.
been there since day one
Yeah.
too. So he's been their
And
guy.
people love
Yeah.
him there.
Yeah. Oh, he's the homegrown
Yeah,
talent, is what
he's
everyone says, right?
massive.
Yeah, that like,
Plus,
And-
with a persona like that, I expect nothing less.
Yeah.
and I will say that even the Telettech festival, they keep that sweaty warehouse vibes to the extreme. I would say
Yes.
Yeah.
it's actually to the extreme. I'm just
Yes.
like, and their merch is like that too. It's like that thick sweat wicking cotton
Yeah.
that you see. So it's just like the same thing. Like they're prepped for the warehouse rave. But like as I said, the praise you guys got after that event, like it was just so
Insane.
good to see.
Like
Oh.
for
Especially,
us,
like,
It took us almost
just
a
a month to
couple
come
weeks
down.
or
Yeah.
3 weeks to actually get back down and just
normal.
do your own thing.
We were super high on happiness.
Yes.
It was insane. But all thanks to Daksh, I would say.
Yeah,
It
thanks
w-
to Daksh and Summon. Those guys actually planned it out. Yes, we did help out and did a lot of things along the way, but those were the guys who actually brought about the idea of doing Telettech. And it's funny because a guy who's organizing house and melodic techno, he thought, let's bring Telettech.
That's the
So-
vision behind it,
You
right?
once again, you have to have visionaries in our local
Yeah.
scene too, who
Exactly.
like, especially with the techno scene thriving off what's happening in Europe with the sounds. You have to have someone who's grounded to like. And everyone has different strains. Exactly like what
Yeah.
you just said, Sid. How you like, no, Grand Bazaar, no.
Yeah.
But you need someone to like be that secondary voice or image saying like, guys, this goes away from what we think
Yeah.
this event's going to be successful, right? Like,
Exactly.
it's a team thing. And this is where one thing we've noticed that we've loved is all these partnerships. Cuz you can do a Takeover 6 event, but your guys' mind for how you guys think may be different from like Industry Apollo, but if you guys partner up, then you have a different voice with a different perspective
Yeah.
that can shed on any weaknesses that they may see, and
Yeah.
then like, and plus more money.
More money,
More-
100%.
more
More
money.
money, more crowd, and
I feel
Different
more,
visions
more
coming in
parties to
together.
take the losses.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's spread, which is really cool. So okay, so you guys have like calming down after 1 month. It's like, oh, now what? Like, what would you guys? How did your year look? Because I remember, I think in a side conversation, I think it was like, oh yeah, we had maybe like I think 4 or 5 planned, and you guys, how many events did you guys do by the end of the year in 20?
14,
14,
15 with all the
15. And we had
collaborations
like
and
10
everything.
events planned for the
You had 10
entire
events, so you
year.
guys
And
added more.
10 was our goal. We didn't have them planned. We just had the Vortex booking. We had B2,
B2
and Foss
Foss.
booked. We had Nina Bender booked. These were the 3 bookings that we had, let's say, since January, February. But apart from that, we had nothing planned. So right after each event, I'd sit down, send out emails, and try find another date. That's how Pisapia came. That's how Doruxin came about. Doruxin was actually proposed to us by Prohibition in Montreal.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yes.
We met them through Telettech. Exactly. Right? Telettech
Yes.
opened a lot of doors for us. So
When we did Telettech, we had a lot of crew come in from Montreal actually who wanted to, like,
Be a part of it.
for some
Exactly.
reason, like right after Telettech, when we went to Montreal to visit the Prohibition guys, and it was insane. Like everyone knew that
new.
these are the Takeover guys who brought Telettech in Toronto, and it was just a surreal feeling that we're just 2 months old and people know us by Telettech. So that was huge.
Plus, we
And-
wanted to do a lot of collaborations as well with the artist exchange with Montreal. It opened a lot of doors. Like
Yeah.
our now
And that's
resident.
something recent too. That's kind of weird. Like I've never, I said, I've been raving for a while. I've been raving for like 2010, so I've seen the Toronto scene change quite a bit. But with everything I've noticed with the underground scene, now I'm a bit more underground, I would say, like my music preference too. But like it's like I've never saw that exchange happen before. But now the
Yeah.
opportunities with social media and like partnerships and like
Yeah.
connectivity works easily. Because
Because
one car goes this way, one car goes that way. Right?
Exactly. And it's super easy because you get to see like talents from all around Canada. It's not just Toronto because everybody's seen Veron,
yeah,
everybody
people
loves
get
Veron,
bored
but
after a while. You just
Exactly.
need to give them something new, and that way, new talent can explore new places, and we just get to show people something new.
Also, as an organizer, it's something that we, we work with a lot of collectives in the local scene, which provide opportunities for all these. Everyone's a DJ nowadays. I think you guys have probably experienced that.
Ouch.
Yeah.
But like, we started the podcast for that reason. You guys started Takeover 6 as a way to give back to the community. But like, another thing is that like, yeah, as you mentioned, like, yeah, Veron, great DJ, right? You know he's gonna put on a great set, but when people, the mindset
him
of
again and
people,
again,
people have
yeah.
seen him again and again. It's like he's not having the same pull as he did before. But you put in a new guy,
Yeah.
They bring-
K657,
Yeah,
from Montreal.
and they'll bring in an entire new crowd, which
Yeah.
as financially for your event is beneficial because you
is.
get people in the door early,
Yeah.
which is key.
100%. Like
100%.
people in Toronto are way more open now to newer acts than they were before. So people were pretty adamant about seeing Veron. They used to ask for Veron, but since we've added like Khalil from Montreal as another resident, people are excited to see him as well. Like now they are open to seeing other
Whoever
acts
we
as
brought
well.
from Montreal, Katamina, Khalil, or whoever we bring, people actually love them, and they're just waiting for when's the next time we get to see this guy. Like
Yeah.
we have so many DMs to bring Khalil back because we just hadn't had the chance to bring him back.
No, and that's good. It's the time frame too, because it's just like goes back to Veron, right? Like, oh, you don't see him for maybe like 2 months, but then he's on the billing. Oh, I'm gonna go see Veron
Yeah,
again.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I sit him out sometimes. I'm like, bro, we can't burn you out. You have
Yeah,
to sit
yeah.
this one. I would maybe give him a small break and then bring him back.
This is also one of the reasons why we also started the podcast too, is because sometimes you just know them by their name, but like
Yeah.
once you get to know their personality, it brings on another level of wanting to go see them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, you get to know like who the person actually is. Like at an event, yes, we talk for 5-10 minutes. You know me by name, by face. That's
we
what
can
he's
talk at
doing.
events. With loud music. That's another problem too. You never get a proper like.
That's why I'm always at
Conversation,
the door so we can have a
Yeah.
chat.
But yeah, no, exactly. We resonate with that 100%. Like it's like, and this allows you to express like stuff that people may not
know about Takeover,
know about Takeover 6. So you
Get
guys
some insider and some information.
so booking artists from Europe, it's not cheap. I would like, how's the costing? Because I would think, I know in some scenes it suffers for that reason, because the cost to bring someone from Europe and all the stuff like what the writer requires when you have to write up the proposal
Yeah.
is like, does it outweigh the cost?
So I feel the major problem usually European DJs have is if they're coming to North America planning a whole trip, they should at least have
multiple gigs.
2 gigs, if not
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Because if they were in Europe, they would do 3 gigs over a weekend opposed to
Mm.
just playing in Toronto over a weekend. So what we try and do is bring other cities on board as well. So maybe route them, like bring them in such a way that Friday they play in Montreal, Saturday they play in Toronto, and then probably
Vancouver.
Sunday they go to Calgary or Edmonton or
How does that
Vancouver.
process work? Like, how do you just,
A lot of coordination,
Yeah.
a
Okay.
lot of
'Cause, like,
convincing people.
but you have to be familiar with the scenes in the different cities,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, so it's actually like
It's
a few
super-
collectives
yeah.
that are actually in touch with each other and now know who to reach
mean,
out to.
In Montreal,
Yeah.
I always reach out to Prohibition, No Rainer, and now Unfazed as well. And Calgary and Edmonton is run by Alokin.
Yeah.
So if
Right, the rave.
right, the rave is Vancouver, but whenever we have a booking, I just try and share it with everyone else so we can split the flight costs at least
Yeah.
and try and bring down
And
the
it's
offer.
random as well. Like it's not necessarily that we have a relationship with them. They just reach out on Insta. We're getting this artist in Vancouver. Are you interested? It's gonna get the fees to this, and it works out most
That's
of the
actually
time.
pretty smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were discussing this maybe a while back, how usually when they go to New York, we were able to get them for cheaper. I think that's something that, what happened with what's that Reiner and what was that festival in New York with the clouds in the ceiling? You know that one? It's
Clouds in the
I think
ceiling?
we've seen that on Instagram somewhere.
Oh.
I think we have.
How?
you know what I'm talking about? Reiner, it's a hard techno one.
Right, Reiner Zonneveld?
Yeah. Anyways, it'll come.
But the thing is, like, we always say that about other artists. It's like, because Toronto is always considered an afterthought, is what we thought. But to be honest, in the hard techno scene, we are not an afterthought.
We are
We're
not.
not.
We
Look
are
at
not.
the Vendex videos. The guy
Yeah.
makes a post about New York and Toronto.
And we had like,
We had seven
Seven
videos, and New York
and
just
New York
one.
just had
I
one.
noticed that too. I
He
didn't message you guys, but I was just looking at the post. I'm like, there's 1 or 2 videos of New York, and like the rest are just Toronto. And
I
it
mean,
looks so
Coming
sick.
from him telling us right after the event that
It looks
this
like
is literally close to what the Europe scene is, what you guys
Yeah.
did here tonight, and this is literally the best event I've done in North America yet. So that means a lot. Like
Yeah.
coming from Vendex, he's almost been around all the major cities in North America, and
it comes down to the entire thing. It comes down to the sound. It comes down to the lighting.
exactly.
The
As I said, it is
people.
for everyone listening. Like, we'll probably link it. Like, look at those recent Vendex videos, because like you
Yeah.
see it and it reminds me of exactly how Europe is when you see all those crazy videos. Like, why doesn't Toronto get anything? We have something.
Yes,
We
Like,
do.
at least for the video, it looked fantastic.
it
Yeah.
looked amazing.
It looks so good. Like, I like, and people, I remember someone, I'm like, that's McCormick. I'm like, and I think I posted on my personal story saying, if you haven't been to McCormick, I shared the Vendex one.
Yeah.
If you haven't been to McCormick recently, you should go. And I posted the one video that Vendex had, because this is McCormick. This
Yeah.
is what it looks like. It's crazy.
I think Vendex was the event where we literally brought everything that we knew from years of throwing events to this one event. We had like everything
It was
planned,
smooth.
pitched down.
It was smooth sailing all along. Like usually we're all over the place, but when next was the event where we were just chilling. Like I was dancing backstage all throughout.
I
his
ran
set.
into you earlier. I was just like, oh,
I
you're
was
not
just
ready.
free. I didn't know what to do with myself.
And it's weird when you're used to being like swamped with work, and one night you just don't have anything to do. Like
And you can actually enjoy the reason why you started
Exactly.
Takeover 6, right? You can
Exactly.
enjoy the hard techno that you started Takeover 6 with.
all the
'Cause-
media content I got, I'm like right behind him dancing throughout the
because
set.
you guys have probably dealt with this. I know we have as for the podcast because we want to be part of the community, right? But now it feels like sometimes we go to events to be a part of the community, but then it's just like, are we losing the reason why we're listening to the music?
Yeah.
That
right?
happens.
And that's tough, especially as organizers when you're hosting the stuff you love, but you can't actually enjoy the stuff you love.
Yeah.
So it's I sympathize with that a lot, right?
But I think it's also to do with the space organizers like Drew,
Like
the venue
Drew.
owners. They're super into the scene. They've helped us
I
a lot.
I know
Oh,
they are.
It's so
they know
easy
the
to
scene
work with
so
them.
well. Like at that venue, you don't have to tell them anything. They know what's up.
They come and tell you
They
that we're
come
gonna
and,
do
like,
this.
They literally come and tell me, okay, this is how we're gonna do things, and I'm like, guys, I'm gonna leave it up to you.
And I've seen him morph, and as I where McCormick is right now, and this is where my story post I referencing it because people have some very negative points about McCormick, like from people I know, like they went to Charlotte there
Oh, they do?
because so Charlotte, I forget when it was, 2023.
3, yes.
That
In the main room, I guess.
and it was in the main room, and it was apparently sauna, dripping sweat, oversold, everything.
Like I hate models.
I
think
hate models.
was worse.
I hate no. I heard Charlotte. I didn't go to Charlotte, but
I went to Charlotte.
I guess back
Okay.
in the day, the ventilation wasn't that great. That's why Charlotte was more like a sauna machine. But I Hate Models wasn't that bad.
I think it's because we
In
were
terms
not
of-
in the main crowd for too long. We were not.
Well, the thing was like apparently there were like people behind the DJ as well. I don't know his name. I just know him by I Hate Models. And like he didn't have room to dance.
Yeah, that's the saddest
that
part.
sucked. Like I could see girls standing right in front of him, and his sweat was dripping
Yeah.
on the girls'
Girls
faces,
were
and I was
literally
like,
the fourth
"What?"
CDJ.
but yeah, Benny brings up a good point. That was when I saw the videos of that. I'm just like, guys, this makes our scene look bad because the staple of I Hate Models
Yeah.
is I want to see that shaky leg. I
Yeah.
want to see
Exactly.
him groove and like DJ behind the
And
deck.
don't get me
True.
wrong, we love people behind the decks,
Yeah.
backstage, right beside the artist.
Gotta give the DJ space.
You gotta give.
Yeah.
It's just common sense. Like,
Just
just
be
give him his
spatially
space.
aware,
Let him
guys,
do
like-
his thing.
I think it's trial and error too because one of the big things, which
Has he ever? Has he ever been in Toronto before? I Hate Models.
he has.
He has.
Yeah,
Yeah.
many
quite a-
times,
quite a
many
few
times. Many
times.
times. He's
But-
like the hard.
But he's grown so much that
Yeah.
like it's I don't know if we have a venue. I mean, other than the spaces outside of Toronto,
Mhm.
I'm not sure if there is. McCormick was definitely not it. Like it was so packed.
but where
Probably
would you
gonna
put
have
him?
to
But
take him to
it comes back-
Budweiser stage.
I Hate Models at Budweiser. Was it the arena again?
the
the-
hockey
yeah,
I
arena.
I'm
mean,
in an
yeah,
arena
the
again.
arena can easily have 4,000 or 5,000 people if you use the whole arena.
Yeah.
But we can't go back there.
Yeah.
I think they've rented out to somebody else, and now
and
you
now
cannot
they're
use that
not
space.
gonna do electronic events there.
Just like the casino.
Yeah.
Rest in
lost the
peace, casino.
casino.
It's like
Yeah.
every other venue you throw an event at, and
But
they just stop doing
It goes back to the thing. Right now, what's popping in Toronto? All these different venues.
Yeah.
All these different venues are crazy. Like the venues you guys have used have been like that Alliance Hall one where you're looking up and like, wow, there's a chandelier here. And I'm listening to hard techno right now. It's like this
Yeah.
is such a surreal feeling.
Even the 1-year anniversary venue, that
yes,
was
Oh.
something.
that on the east side. I'm just like, and it was snowing too, and I'm just remember
Yeah.
parking across the
That
street.
event, literally, I busted my knee right after the event because I was
All
working.
of us.
I was working since 9 in the morning, shoveling snow, taking the speakers upstairs.
And I remember there was flack on that event because people lost their coats or like, but like I also
Yeah.
sympathize with you guys because the basement flooded from what I
Yeah.
was told.
Exactly. It was so bad because most of our staff had like a no-show rate because it was snowing outside. We
Yeah.
couldn't have done
So we
anything.
had to find people last moment to fill in for them. And our usual staff, they know what they're doing and they've been doing it for a while. But when you bring in someone new, then That's where it kind of gets
Yeah,
tricky.
I
And
did-
code check is always a nightmare.
And I didn't realize how bad it was because when I went down to get my coat, apparently I saw the chaos, but I just handed it to them. They looked, and in my head, I already saw my jacket on like a pile, and I didn't think anything. I'm like, oh, my jacket's right there, and he was like, oh, thank you. And then he gave it to me. And I walked out. But then after the next day, I realized, oh shit, I got lucky. My jacket could have
You
been
did.
my jacket could have been at the bottom of the pallet, and I could have been just waiting there for like an hour.
I
while they're
was
trying-
literally waiting outside. People were so furious that they lost their jackets. And me and Vishnu, the other partner, we were trying to book them cabs so that they don't feel cold when they get home. We were trying to give them our
We got a
merch.
couple people cabs as well, and later on we did found their jackets too.
Yeah, and then we delivered it to their place. I know as a raver, that's really frustrating, but as an organizer, there's
Given
not
the
a lot
whole-
we can do about this
But
situation.
as a
the whole
raver at
weather
that time, you
situation-
know how
It
it is,
is
right?
frustrating.
No one, everyone's like, oh, these incompetent.
100%, and I agree. That's why I always drop a message in the community WhatsApp explaining what the situation was, so at
Yeah.
least they know what happened.
Plus
And the
with
community is pretty understanding of
Yeah.
that too. They're super nice.
So yeah, moving on, like the community. Though right now, like with everyone, community is like a big thing, right? So you guys obviously wound down Telettech, had 14 events at the end of the day. When did that WhatsApp group start?
We did it like
right
early on, right?
after our first event.
After
our
the first event, and then
yeah.
it's just slowly growing
So,
and growing
yeah,
and growing.
now we're at what 850 people maybe.
8:15. Yeah.
Wait, I'm not in
Yeah.
this. Is it the industry one or is it a different one?
There's another
Takeover
one.
community.
You're not in
Oh, okay, I'm not in that one. I'm in the industry.
I'll
one.
send you a link.
Fine.
Yeah, send it.
I never got
Get
it.
him on
I
it.
didn't get the memo. I didn't get the memo.
Get him in the
I
group.
keep him in the loop, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
I just send it like if there's any techno thing, we just keep Benny in the loop because he tries to stay off social media because social media is so. So another thing is how's the social media game? Because man, social media is probably
That's
the most.
our social
Yeah.
media manager
It's
right
so stressful.
It is. It's like hard to keep up with the trends that are going on. And previously, I didn't actually see like even industry, their hard techno collective. I didn't actually see them posting a lot, but they've also upped their game like insane. I see their post, and it's like an inspiration for me what they are doing and what is happening around. So the social media is not just about events anymore. I would say it is more about engaging. Like I know
It's
I've
more
been
about
waiting
community, I would feel.
for.
Like,
Yeah.
It's also not making it look like half-assed because I've followed you guys since the beginning, like after Telettech at that point, and I saw some of the I went back. I saw some of the promo videos you guys did for even the smaller events, and it's like cool imagery, like a robot or something. I'm like,
yeah.
that's a lot of work to put in for like a
Yeah.
promo, right? That people don't like us. We see it. We see what you guys are putting in
Yeah.
because it's like those little things matter where you have like a little video because we know how hard it is to put a video even like that together for promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, the attention span of the audience is like what 10 to 13 seconds, and you
5
have to
seconds. 5
capture their
seconds.
attention.
13 seconds is
13
too much.
It's
More
too
like
much.
3
5
seconds.
It's too
You know what's crazy? So we have an episode coming out with someone who's a social media like a little bit of an influencer, but she gave a seminar speech. Shout out Remy. The attention span on TikTok used to be 3 seconds. So before they swipe, you have 3 seconds to capture their attention.
And now?
That's
You have legit one, and this is where now you see a lot of TikToks. Like right away, they have what it is, so that
Yeah.
it keeps you there.
yeah,
Or like something to indicate that it keeps you there, or could be anything like someone cute, blah blah blah. You know, like something to just keep you
keep
there.
you there.
'Cause
Yeah,
they
Even with our
'cause-
videos, we try to keep it to the point as much as
Yeah.
possible.
as much
and
as we
give
can.
Yeah,
out
like-
as much
like you have-
Any
information.
fluff, you have
Yeah,
to cut
like-
the fluff.
yeah.
There's
Yeah, you have to cut the flaw. Like even with like anything that's promotion, it's like you have to have your logo and then like the artist right away.
Exactly, and you need to,
cannot
and you
have a
need your
build-up.
audience to engage on it as well. Like comment, like, share. A lot of it goes
it-
into it.
it-
It's
yeah.
so frustrating.
And the thing is, it's so frustrating, especially like on our end too, because like, man, social media is everything.
Yeah.
Like we have great content too, but if our social media game is weak,
Yeah.
like what can we do, right? Like,
And it
once you-
sucks because you know your events are good. You know what you're actually doing is good. But if you're not able to show it on social media, it all goes
I
to
feel
shit.
once you
Yeah.
tap the right nerve, you kind of just keep going at it. Like even with social media, like Anshi started doing memes, and
Yeah.
we saw people engaging more with it. So they like fun content. They don't want us to be promoting events all the time.
Yeah.
Like that gets boring, right?
It's just a big mental load. I understand your frustration
Yeah.
quite a
Yeah.
bit, like especially like because you're thinking you're trying to help support the event, and you're just like, guys, I gotta do social media for the event too, right?
It's
She was
so
literally
busy.
making memes last night, and we're gonna post them in a couple of days.
It sucks because you have to generate like a lot of ideas, and then if it's not a hit, it feels bad.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
feels bad.
But you also have to be a trendsetter, right?
Yeah.
With social media this day, where you
100%.
have to look
Yeah.
at either what other people are doing or be like, hey, this might work, and then try it for
Yeah.
your event, which is
Well, the thing with like, I sort of see it like you have to keep providing value to for someone to keep
100%.
watching your
Yeah.
social media. You have to keep providing them value
Yeah.
so that the next post you post, they feel like they can't miss it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like you give them so much value. It's like the next one, oh, I have to watch because there's so much value. Like so I'm getting something out.
and we like to say like on our end, because it's all video and the audio content for the content. So you have the content, which is good, but you need the content for the
The
content.
content,
exactly.
And in your guys' case, it's the event, so you need the content to help promote the event, or else
yes.
word of mouth can only get you so far.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you guys are at a good point as well. So what's that group where you have the following? You can post the. We saw what happened with Restricted this week too.
Yo, that took me by surprise.
it was
I was not surprised because I shared it with like 5 people the moment I saw it in the chat, and I'm just like, buy it now.
Restricted was actually a
was
faster
insane.
selling event than Telettech on
Yeah.
the first
So
day.
Telettech was most events sold in 24 hours. Record was Telettech. We sold around 330 ish,
Oh, really?
and then
Yeah.
Restricted went 400 plus, and
Within like
within
what,
24 hours.
Yeah.
And within
It was
the
at
first,
no, it was at tier 2. I was keeping tabs. It was at tier 2 by like mid afternoon,
Yeah.
or like
I put the event in our group, so I sent out emails and put it in our group. Did not announce it on Instagram because I want like people who
you want your community,
Community
to
to
get,
get the benefits.
get the
yeah.
benefit. So at 10, I release it. Within 2 hours, we have 200 plus ticket sales. Then I release it on Instagram. So
I know some people may not like that, but I look at it as the perspective of your community.
100%.
The people who supported you
Yeah.
first, yeah, people know who Restricted is now, like the general population, right? They know who Restricted is now. But the people who were there, you want to give back to the people who supported you day
Oh,
one. And
100%.
I'm
For
totally on
sure.
board of that. So I know there was some people, oh man, I missed tier 1. I missed tier
Yeah.
1, tier 2. But it's just like, hey, you had all the opportunity to join their community
Yeah.
and be part of the chat.
For those who live for festivals, raves, and nightclubs, you know the energy, the music, and the memories. Every time you leave with ringing ears, you're risking permanent hearing damage. Here's Earplugs offers hearing protection designed specifically for music lovers. Their earplugs reduce noise levels by up to 21 decibels, protecting your hearing while keeping the music crystal clear. Get up to 30% off when you group buy with 5 friends. Protect your hearing, enjoy the music. Click the link in the description now or scan the QR code on the screen. Don't wait till it's too late. Order today so you have it for your next event.
Be part of the chat. There is another conversation that I found interesting recently is like, we need to move away from releasing tickets at 10 a.m. And this is not even a this is a general like, don't people have to work in the office? Like,
see, even I had to put an alarm to get up at 10 and post the tickets.
If you
in
really
our
want to,
group.
just wake up.
it's two spectrum. It's like either people who have to work late, like maybe they're a bartender and they work a late night shift, they sleep in, or there's people in the office who can't look at their phone, or there's people even like in warehouses, right?
Yeah.
They can't look at their phone. I sympathize. Like, luckily I work an office job, so I can be on my phone and be that.
Yeah.
You sent it, I think, at like 10:10, and
10:10.
it was already
Yo,
sported.
you were keeping tabs. He was precise about the
No,
timing.
no,
Because I sent it at 10:10. I remember.
because people ask me, it's like, oh, I can't miss the Restricted pre-sale, and I'm like, you don't know what rave, like like the rave community I know, and people, it's like, when do you think they're gonna drop it? I'm like, I don't know. It could be like 11 for the community. I don't know. It's like, if you see it, please send it, is what I was told. And literally, I had my phone and I just see Sid's message pop up.
So our initial plan was we're gonna release on Thursday at 12.
Yeah.
Anshi and I, we were thinking we'll do it at 12 noon on Wednesday, so people in our group and everyone's emails that we have, they get the chance to actually buy it like 24 hours before the actual announcement. But then we later on were like, 24 hours would be
Too
a little
much,
too much.
yeah.
And people on Instagram, then they would bash us for
But
releasing it a day
in that
earlier.
hindsight, once again, it's good that you thought about that because people do it all the time, though. If you think about it, like people do like, oh, Friday 10 a.m. ticket sales. Like I'm gonna use like Inc. when they use Ticket Web, right? 10 a.m. ticket sales, general sale goes on, but pre-sale happens Thursday or Wednesday. It's just like, and then by the time you get to general sale, if it's a popular artist, like say
Yeah.
Armin van Buren, who's here,
Yeah.
it's already at tier 5.
Tier 5,
in
yeah.
general sale. You're just like, well, but I put it in the perspective of, hey, you had all the opportunity to register for pre-sale. I
Yeah.
just don't agree with the 10 a.m. thing. I'm actually an advocate for not 10 a.m.
Me
'cause
too.
I understand the frustration. I understand.
Because I went back to sleep right after. I was like, okay, guys, I've done my part. I'll wake up at 12, put it on Instagram, then go back to sleep.
But you do want to reward your community. Like they actually have been working with us
And
since day
to be
one.
honest, the thought process was someone or the other is going to miss out, regardless
Yeah.
of me
Yeah. It's
dropping
hard
it
to be
at
fair.
whatever time it is. So,
Yeah,
It's
because
just-
you never know. Like 6 o'clock, someone's at a sporting event. Someone's at
Yeah.
So like, I understand that frustration of the 10 a.m. But it goes back to the point. I just think there's no right answer.
Yeah.
Right?
It's hard to be fair.
There's no right answer. So I guess the industry's like, oh, 10 a.m. it is. 10 a.m. it is.
Yeah, and to like combat that problem, we keep adding like more tickets in the pre-sale. So if somebody is missed
saw that,
from our
yeah.
community, we like add 10, 20 more tickets just
So
so
wait,
they
you
can
woke
get
up
in.
and like, shit, I gotta add 10 more tickets. I'm
yeah,
like,
because people bought those tickets so quick and they're like, pre-sales already gone. And a lot of people were like mad about the fact that pre-sales already sold out. So I added 15 tickets, then I added 15 more so that people in our group can get the most advantage of the pre-sale price. And then we switched to the
I'm
higher
always that
tier.
meme, you know, that smug meme where there's people looking over. It's like, yeah, I got the tier
The
one.
smart
Well,
one.
I mean, but we did an episode on like ticket buying processes, which we might revisit very soon on
Yeah.
like the strategies. Essentially, you just have to be in the know and be
Yeah.
aware.
Even a couple people texted me. They're like, I missed pre-sale. I was at work. Is there any chance you can open pre-sale? Like, okay, I'm going to add 5 more. Just go back there. Just sit there. I'm going to add more. Just buy it as soon as I put it because they were flying that morning. It
Oh.
was
It was insane for us.
Like-
I bet. Like
that was the first time after Telettech I saw ticket sales just within a minute. We've sold 15 more, 20 more. It just kept
It's because
going.
people have
exponentially.
been waiting for restricted for the longest
It-
time in
so-
Toronto.
So this goes back to the community. I'm gonna just mention it because it was mentioned. I think it was industry that it was supposed to be March. From what I was told, I think
Yeah.
it was supposed to be March.
It was supposed to be
March, yeah.
March first week. They could not pull it through.
Yeah.
The agents, so they switched to. We didn't have a date, so they were gonna do April next. That's why they have the Montreal show in May,
Mhm.
31st of May. So there was a time where they were like, "Yeah, it's not gonna happen this year.
Yeah.
You gotta wait till 26." And then one day, the agent emails me. He's like, "Do you want 31st of August?" I'm like,
yeah,
Labor
we've
Day
been
weekend,
waiting for it.
yeah, closing, bro. I'm taking this.
Oh, that's a slam dunk. Especially like you saw the Holy Priest feedback too, like
Yeah.
from the year before. That was an absolute slam dunk. Especially like one thing about Toronto is people just want to party.
Yeah.
Summer
People-
season,
and
they
you
go
think,
bonkers.
and you think one end, especially summer season EI. It's like, oh, this final good weather.
Hmm.
People will go straight from EI straight
Straight to the after
restricted.
party,
It's
yeah.
actually Toronto never underestimates me on their willing to party. So
People have so much energy pent up from the cold that they have to
6
release it
months of
during the
depression,
summer.
and then they see the sun.
Summer.
I
they're
mean, we
like,
have no spring. I mean, this is technically spring right
Yeah.
now, but you literally go from spring. You literally go from winter
To summer.
To summer.
now it's like 1-2 weeks of spring and then summer. It's like okay, and then by that time it's like September. You may
It's
get
like
2
the
weeks.
couple weeks of unknown. You never know what the weather's gonna do
Yeah.
to you. It's sunny one day, it's literally snowing the next.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But it's fun.
So yeah, the what's that group popping? But yeah, like goes back to like this is where sometimes I keep tabs on both the industry chat and the Takeover 6 because I think for the techno community those are the two most popular chats that I've noticed and I'm a part of. And I just see sometimes you guys send snippets of like who's coming.
Yeah.
And I remember the industry one when Nev he's like, "Oh, restricted March." And I was telling people restricted's coming March because I have a lot of friends who like hardstyle.
Yeah.
And restricted is a good like
when Nav dropped that, I emailed their agent. I'm like, guys, what's happening here? You said
Yeah,
March
'cause-
is not gonna happen, and then now you go and give this show to the industry and did not even tell me about it.
Yeah.
Like, well, what's up? So
It was also because with industry, we didn't like start off amazing
yeah,
on
we were
really
not
great
always on the
terms.
same page. Like
Yeah.
initially, it was really competitive, and both sides of the parties we loved it because
Y-
the competitive
that-
nature.
Oh no,
was,
it drives both you guys. And
100%.
as someone when we started the podcast, like we just see this, and one thing that's always been curious on our head, and we'll talk about it right now, is the partnerships that we
Yeah.
see. And at one point, we're just like, I remember, I think I even said, "Wait, does Takeover 6 and industry have beef, or does industry and like this have beef?" And like, once again, you're all in a competitive market. We get that there might be some butting of heads, but in the end, I think if we circle back to right now with what I'm seeing from all the techno guys and all these partnerships, like you guys partnering with like Electric Escape, a Tribunal, Takeover, the industry, right? It's just so much good for the scene.
I
100%.
mean, we were
Competition is
always
good.
huge on-
Competition's good, but
Yeah.
like you have something where Toronto is right now the underground techno. Like
Yeah.
if I look at North America, we are just like LA and New York. And I think everyone can say they're number one, number two, like in terms of the scene.
Yeah,
We're not that far behind.
we're not.
We're
far
not.
behind.
We're not
We
at
are
We're
all.
doing
de-
an amazing job, I feel, and
Like that's what the organizers realized. Like it was fun for us to have that beef and the ravers like
The
going to
other day,
our
like-
raves. Yeah,
right
we-
after the 420 event, we all were sitting at our place. Nav, Anthony, me, Anshi, and a few other people, and we were just chatting about the same thing. We are like, yeah, it was a fun time, like really competitive and just butting heads. But after a while, we realized
it's not
like,
good for
no
you
one's winning.
financially.
The
No one's
scene's
winning.
not winning. The scene's not winning. We're losing money left, right, and center. So what's the point of all of this? And I feel after Entourage and when the industry did Telettech, we had a mature conversation, me and
Mm.
Nav, and we are like, okay, let's get on the same page. There's no point butting heads. We're just taking revenue off of each other, and that does not make sense.
Plus
We
the
throwing
artists,
events.
I think the fees that went high, it was just like a bidding war.
There was a bidding war going on.
It's
It's like when you're trying to buy a house and you're like, you try to
God,
bid one.
like
That's so funny.
It's and you know what? It also see that's
That's
the
so
thing.
funny,
It's like
yes.
you're not helping anyone
Yeah.
when you guys, and it's like
just the agents.
Yeah.
Just the
it's,
agents.
it's just like but that's when you get into the business, sort of like the ego
And
thing. But
agents
then,
love it because when there's promoters butting heads and trying to
there
outbid
are
each other,
in the
they're
end,
winning.
Yeah.
His whole goal is, so I know I want to reference the holy priest thing that I apparently heard that I remember
Ink
Nav
is doing, yeah.
said that he had him and all of a sudden he didn't because someone came in with the bigger money, and I think I know
Yeah.
who it is. I won't say, but
Yeah.
it kind of goes to that premise of like it becomes a bidding war, right?
Exactly. And that's not good for you because why would you want to spend double the amount of money?
But I feel sometimes you kind of have to make a strong stance about things. Like I was on board with Nav, just outbid for Holy. I was like, if this is what's happening, then we just go.
But it's
all
not
ballistic.
worth it.
But
It's not worth it.
I know
Yeah,
it's not worth
it.
it, but sometimes you gotta.
I
establish a
I think from
precedent.
what I know, from like what I talk to everyone about on like from what I know, it's just like I think it wasn't worth it, especially like you're just like it's not. It's in the end, you guys will continue forward and you guys will grow on like how you guys are doing,
Yeah.
and the path you guys are doing is great, especially like the path you and industry are doing, fantastic. So like yeah,
A lot
when the
a lot of collabs coming this year.
Yeah.
100%.
we're noticing
Because most of the artists that we
We
were
want.
eyeing, we both were eyeing the same artist, the same style, the same
Yeah.
DJ. So
what it comes down to like the scene, like the European style too. It's all sort of in the same direction,
Yeah.
anyways. Like you see what's popping over there, and
And then you want to
y-
book it.
yeah, especially when you like the same music, that's bound
Yeah.
to happen, right?
yeah. I showed Anshi my RA get paid.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna make.
Industry takeover. Industry takeover.
I'm like, she's like, I'm gonna make this my wallpaper. I'm like, oh.
That's good to watch because we know that industry and us are targeting like the same customers.
Yeah,
mostly.
that's what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And
our
like,
vision is kind of similar. Like it's different in a few ways, but like the core concepts of the vision, they're aligned, they're the same, and yeah, working with them.
Yes.
So speaking of vision, like what do you envision like the future of Takeover 6 to be? I know the first one you kind of planned like just to have 80 people in your first show, but now what's the vision?
I think it would be more branching out into other music genres.
Yeah.
We've
Mm.
actually
Trying out
started
new
doing that with Dave the drummer coming in, and more shows that are more underground and
Because
with a mix
now
of
I
techno.
feel we have an audience
Yeah.
that's already with us through hard techno. Now we can show them new genres and just experiment on things and see where it goes. Like, to be honest, I'm just gonna go with the flow. Like, whatever
Yeah.
comes.
It's good. No, and that's what we talk about the genres. Was like right now Europe is the leader in terms of like what's popping off there, but you don't know if it's gonna resonate with someone here.
Yeah.
And the way North America works is you just need that one artist to
Yeah.
drag everyone else to see what it is. So it's good to see because like on our end, myself and Benny, like we love bounce. We call it bounce. It's like hard bounce,
Yeah.
hard house,
Hard house, hard bounce. Yes.
hard bounce. But you don't see much of that. Like you see like spurts of it, like with the Stage 004 booking coming at in May. Also get your ticket for that. But, like Pawlowski playing, which honestly for me that's the person I want to see because that's the sound I'm resonating with a lot.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that once again with anyone, even if you're hosting your own event, you got to focus on what you want to play for, what driving you to start whatever you're doing, right? And then from there you can branch out exactly where you guys are right now.
Exactly.
That's the way to go about it, because when you start out, you need something that you're passionate about to actually drive this business. There's no way you can do it without passion for it.
And
So-
and especially with music taste, like sometimes your passion for a type of music changes over time.
Yes.
And that's just how
Yeah.
it is, right?
We started with hard
she-
techno and
okay.
now we like hypnotic for some reason.
Yeah.
So she was never a big Hypnotic fan, and then I start playing it at home, and she of course has to listen to it because where else would she go? So
Oh, just for the listener, like hypnotic, what do you like? What artist would be hypnotic?
Rene Wise, any
What was that new artist? The song that we've been hearing on loop. Pain in My Heart, Short Hagen.
that's not Hypnotic.
That is. He plays hypnotic.
It's
as well.
more bouncier.
It's more bouncier, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's bouncy.
Yeah.
She's not good with it.
No, I
Yeah.
mean,
Music genres,
subgenres,
it's like
subgenre.
it
Like
mixes.
people, I had a friend ask me, he's like, "Oh, what did Vendex play?" I'm like, 160 strands,
Yeah.
and she's like, "What?" I'm like, "No, that's exactly what he played." He's just like, but it's
Yeah.
like faster, hard techno.
It's hard to
Yeah.
it's hard to
Differentiate.
really
It's
say
hard
this
to-
is
it's
this
hard
genre.
to differentiate genres these
Even
days.
the word strands, I think I only really realized it was like 6 months ago. I'm like, oh, this is the term strands
Yeah.
techno. I'm like, where did this start?
Same.
Even
Especially when
I-
like there's new music that's coming through,
Yeah.
you don't know what to call it yet
Exactly.
until there's a name that's
Yeah.
that you give it, I guess, and then it just sounds like what it sounds like.
It's just music.
Yeah, this is music.
If you like it, you like it. If you
Yeah,
don't,
exactly,
you don't. That's
yeah.
about it.
So let's talk about music in general with the techno scene because it's something I'm passionate about, something Benny's passionate about. Is just seeing what's going on like out there. Like you have all these different genres like hard groove, trance, hypnotic. You have hard techno. You have like hard style in this. But like, what are you guys seeing in terms of like trends right now?
More bouncy. I think Adrian Mills type of
The
the
240
sound that
sound,
240
is
sound.
kind of
Yeah.
popping
It's
off.
popping off.
It's
And I feel even electro with what the conductor guys are doing, I feel with time it's gonna
Yeah.
just
incorporate
bring in
into-
more people and just be like a part of the scene. Electro, like we've not had electro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
I
never
don't think
heard
so.
electro before conductor guys actually
Interesting,
brought it.
Yeah.
And it's good music. Like it's a little bouncier than the
It sounds like a
usual.
break bit
Yeah.
in a hard techno track.
Yeah.
but
But it's good. It's good. It's
It's not-
different.
yeah, what's happening in like this scene with the techno is like what's happening with like UKG coming
Yeah.
in. Like UKG has always been there, but
Yeah.
now it's like slowly bridging into more mainstream and more North America where you're getting a lot and the Sammy Verges and the people
Yeah.
like that, they're dragging everyone else
Yeah.
in all these different events. So it's really cool to see. But we're all about, and it goes back to social media. The reason why you said Adrian Mills, the
Because you're
240
saying-
sound,
Exactly.
you see all those videos
yes.
Uh,
And you want to be a part of
and
it
you want to be a part of it.
because it looks cool.
Yeah.
And this is where it comes back. So I want your guys' opinion on like what you see. Like we talk about I hate models and like the boiler. I guess it was like boiler room-esque, which is like people behind them, right?
Yeah.
Which is like I think boiler room kind of started that where you have people all around you and there's no camera, but there is a camera. You know what I mean? You're on social media, so people want that environment. I'm not a big fan of Boiler Room for what it is right now, just because I'm more of an influencer. But like
Yeah.
that also goes back to like genre types, where it's just
Yeah.
like you could start hating a genre because it became popular. But I try not to. I'm just like, I don't like this, but I like what they're doing with face to face, which is now something that's popping off
Yeah.
here.
That is
Yeah.
face to face is, I think it's a lot more interesting to watch as a
Yeah.
raver, because
Even
I'm
as
not
a
a
DJ,
DJ.
it's interesting to actually do a face-to-face set
Yes.
because
And you
it,
did one.
because it takes a lot from you. Like before our set, Seb and I were like, okay, you play one track, I play one track. That's what we had in mind. And then we start playing and we're like, we can play around with it. And then we're just messing with things and just communicating with our eyes and just
And it's good to watch. It's
Yeah.
so good to watch as a raver.
Yeah,
The
it
only
is.
thing I will say as a raver though, and this goes back to like we're experienced ravers. We know what the scene. We know like maybe I don't DJ, but I know enough to know what they're doing, right? But the general population, there has to be an education with face to face,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of people who don't know what
Yeah.
face to face is
Yeah.
or like what's entailed. And I think part of the reason is also I think face to face only works with certain genres.
Yeah.
yeah.
Certain genres and with certain
like,
people
BP
that you're doing.
and people too, because I went to a state of trance and Armin and Maddox did a face to face, and realistically, I know they're doing some mixing, but I'm like, it doesn't work with
It's too
the
slow.
sound they're
It's
Yeah.
too
doing.
slow.
I'm
Yeah.
like, it's too slow. I'm like,
It has to be fast.
Yeah, it has
it
to be.
has. That's what I think. There's a couple other groups out there that are trying face. Once again, I love everyone trying face to face. As I said, that's because you want to stay modern. You want to bring that to North America. You see, if for everyone listening, you go watch a 240 video and you want to be a part of that because they're having fun and everyone around them's having fun. Like it's an arena, which
Yeah.
is so cool. Like the arena concept is
It's
in.
the whole vibe around it. It's
Yeah.
not just the music. It's not just the DJs. It's the vibe around it.
Especially when like the DJs discover something, it's like, cause like it's all like, it's like freestyle, right?
Yeah, it's
So
freestyle.
when the DJs discover it, the audience discovers
Yeah.
it. So it's like a whole new layer of the environment, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's
it goes back to like when you're DJing, it's also a performance. Like if you're DJing, like it's still like you could DJ, have like look like you're having fun, but if you're like an I Hate Models going ham, a lot of times the general DJing set, like you can't really do that. Maybe you do like a little fist bump or something like that, but with face to face, when you're communicating with someone, you can vibe with someone here.
Exactly.
It gives you that opportunity
Yeah.
to interact with everyone. That's what I've noticed, and it's a weird concept that I'm like, this wasn't the thing, but this is what's great about our industry.
Yeah, I feel
Is you don't know what's gonna pop off, right? And it comes back to social media too. The social media game is
100%.
what matters.
Because so many people like came to him and they were like, yes, the face to face was amazing, but the chemistry that you had with Seb, we were actually able to see it as
Yeah.
ravers. They actually didn't know what was happening on the decks, but they could see it within their eyes.
And
that's something cool.
and you can hear it. I heard it in the sound too, where one thing about like a lot of techno, you don't mix two songs really together a lot of times, right? Like you maybe transition one to the other, but you can see when you're transitioning and you're bouncing a song in. And this is where like I find like hard bounce, like higher BPM works, because you can layer the songs a lot better and you can see when something's mixing in.
Yeah. I feel you could do that with hard techno as well.
Yeah.
There's
And
just-
they've done it.
They-
I know
they've done
face to
it,
face.
like,
I know
there's a
face-to-face has done
way
it.
there's a way to do it. And it sounds nice. Like me and Seb, we were always with two decks on. Like my deck was always on while Seb was mixing in, and the other way around as well. We even ran into a couple mixes that actually slapped, like
Yeah.
acapellas from
Yeah.
my end and his drop. They just worked
But
so
even
nice.
with the other DJs too, like everybody was so much in sync
yeah.
and they've not actually practiced with each other
Yeah,
a lot. That's amazing.
That's the
as-
beauty of it.
All we
'cause it's
practiced was a
freestyle.
back to back,
Yeah.
and that's about it.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I
and-
think Christina was the one who
Yeah.
was playing after
Before
you,
us,
before you,
before us.
before you. She
After.
was amazing as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, as I said, like, I think problem with face to face, it comes back to education. And I know when bigger artists promote it, it's just like, once again, I was in the crowd and I was watching the Armin back to back face to face Maddox. And I'm just
Where
like,
was this?
this was
This
at a
is
state of
State of
trance.
Trance.
So the set is online if you want to go take a look. Like, you can watch it. And I'm listening to him, but I'm like, yo, he's playing 2 minutes of one song. I'm like, I get it and I get they're communicating, but I'm like, it doesn't work fully as
Yeah.
a face-to-face concept in my head should. And this is where Adrian Mills and the bounce, you could tell it works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it
does.
does. It does.
They've mastered their craft too.
Yes, 100%.
It's different to hear. Like with the Adrian Mill sound, like me just being a raver and not being a DJ, I just like a different sound, and they are
It's
bringing
a
that.
breath of fresh air.
It's a
It
breath
is,
of fresh
it
air. I
is.
know friends who don't like hard techno, but they like the bounce.
Yeah.
Because it's like, once again, we say hard house and all that stuff. Technically, it's part of that, and they like that sound. They're like, oh, this is like essentially we call it bounce because essentially what you're doing is you're legit bouncing, which is like
And it's fun. Like you have a drink in your hand, you just don't have to bang your
yeah,
head
you
to
don't
the
have to
ground.
bang your
Yeah.
head.
It's not that harsh to the ear.
Yeah.
It's bouncy. It still sounds a little commercial, I would say, and not be commercial at the same time. Like
It
a lot of people
targets
can
an-
consume it
exactly.
and not feel they're listening to a 150, 160 BPM track.
Yeah. The big thing is like it is really fast, but it doesn't seem like it's very
Yeah,
fast.
It is.
Exactly.
You can
Exactly.
actually chill out to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got just a random question: is hard techno hard style? What's your guys' opinion on that?
So the
'Cause
new
hard
age hard techno is it does kind of
Has
coincide with hard style.
like
but,
phantasm.
yes,
but trance on the other hand is
More-
actual hard techno.
yes. That's my take. That's
Yeah.
that's, our-
That's my take on it as well.
That's my take because I'm just like for someone like restricted. That's hard.
That's hard style.
Yeah,
That's
that
not
is.
hard
That's
techno.
hard
It
style.
is.
People call it hard techno so that it's easier to market and for
Yeah.
people to consume.
You know
but
what it is? The same thing like trance, where melodic techno. What is it? Trance.
that's-
But no one wants to say trance because
Yeah.
it's maybe not as cool
yeah.
this day and age.
So
But
they
it's-
call it melodic.
They call it melodic techno.
Yeah, hard techno is a lot screechier now, I would say.
Yes. a
Screechier in
lot
the
more
kicks.
Yeah, a super screechy these days. Like the new age hard techno is not something I really love.
hmm
Time and place for it, yes.
Everything,
maybe a couple sets during a night, okay, fine. But
It doesn't give. Yeah, that's what we say too. It's just like I can do like maybe 1 hour of hard techno.
Hard
Yeah.
techno,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or 1.5 hour, but you need to have some variety in the sound. You
Yes.
need to
Yeah.
and I appreciate you guys
But
line
that-
up for
but that-
this.
but
for
that's the
because
same with
the
everything.
variety is there, so that
Yeah.
the sound's not the same throughout the
Yeah.
the entire
there
night.
has to be variety. Like usually
Different
our,
crowds, different
Yeah.
music.
usually our lineup it starts off with something hypnotic on the groovier side of thing. Probably then Seb steps in, bridges the gap between hypnotic sound and then takes it to a harder sound. Whoever's
Yeah.
the
It's basically if you keep the opening act to something that is not hard techno, people actually like it. Like there have been so many people who've appreciated hypnotic opening DJs instead of straight up going to the hard techno.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exhausting.
It is, it is.
It's
It is.
exhausting.
Even for us.
those
it
guys
is.
they actually set the tone for the party. They bring people in the groove for the next DJ to take off. So
True. No, we notice it. So another thing is, I like the concept you guys have implemented. So we talk about Boiler Room, how Boiler Room, but I like the concept where you guys do like a mini Boiler Room, is what I call it. Because a lot of places don't let you go behind the DJ.
I get
Yeah.
so much slack for that.
Yeah, it's mainly because if you see it from an organizer standoff point, you shouldn't do it. Like
Mhm.
because you have your camera crew who has no space to actually get the content for you. But as a raver, I don't think we can ever stop doing
After
people
every
at the
event,
backstage.
our camera crew is like mad at us for
Really?
having so
Yeah.
many people around and they not being able to shoot content. But at the same time,
As ravers, we can never really stop anybody from
Like,
coming behind
I
the
want
DJ.
it to be like an open concept thingy where our event, like anybody can go anywhere, sort of a thing. And
But it also looks good in the content too when
Exactly.
you
It does,
have
it
people in the
does.
background.
it's hard to shoot content, yes, because you've seen Tyrese on top of speakers
Speakers,
because
yeah.
he does not have space anywhere else.
But
to
also-
shoot content
Yes.
from.
the McCormick setup where they're actually, I think you guys like modified it to make it like that, where the speaker so you have the pillar you can walk underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
then
I've
the speaker-
seen them stand on top
Yeah.
of that and videoing like that. I'm just like, that
People
dangerous?
were feral at Vendex. They were on top of
No,
those
yeah, there was
speakers.
people dancing. I'm like, is this allowed? I'm like, no one's stopping it. I'm
The
just like-
security didn't even stop it.
Yeah.
It just looked so good. Nobody wanted to stop it.
So I got a question. There was a camera on the one pillar. Whose
Hmm.
camera was that? Was that I
Uh,
saw like a camera like above, like right in
Yes,
front of Vendex.
Right in front of Vendex. So
is-
that was us recording the whole set.
the whole set.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
so
okay.
Veron, Vendex, everyone who was on the lineup, we recorded them.
Nice.
But I think people in the backstage, that's a problem as well because too many people have their phones in their hand. And it does not look good when you're recording a whole set.
But people do pay attention. So what
To-
we've started
yeah.
doing recently is we take printouts and avoid the usage of your phones. You're on smile, you're on camera. We put them right behind the DJ booth so people can see it. And
It's like an active
I saw that. I
thought,
saw
And-
that. Yeah, yeah.
and when it's out there, it's like an active thought in people's mind. And with the content that we've got now, I see a lot less phones backstage at least. So
Yeah, as long as you reduce, I think that's a good concept because you're not going to stop phones from recording. Like you're not going to
You
stop me from
cannot.
recording for our podcast, right? You're
and
not.
I,
Gonna,
and I
You can-
wouldn't want to stop anyone from recording because A, that's free marketing,
Yeah.
and B, like people want to have fun whatever the way they want,
And they wanna share
They,
it.
they should
As
be,
long as there's some moderation
Yeah,
in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
moderation is key.
it goes back to the saying. Like I think, like usually if you don't tell the general population, they won't know. But
Yeah.
some people will listen, some people won't. And then if you get like a
Yeah.
half and half, then you're good
And-
because the big problem a lot of people have is where's the dance, especially in some genres like
Yeah.
melodic techno and like you see some of this like Afro house.
And Afro life stuff.
Yeah, like where's the dance? All you see is phone dance.
Yeah.
With this.
Yeah.
People,
But do you think that if you recorded a set and you put it online, do you think people will record it less?
No.
No.
Because it's
I don't
like
think
that Insta thing that they have to post the next
feel
day. I was here. It's
In that
more
moment
of a FOMO
when
thing.
people are in that state of trance and into the groove and like one with the music sort of a thing, they just want to express it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And that's why they take out their phones and record it. So they have something to look back at, even though no one looks at it later on, I feel. But
Yeah, it gets pretty annoying because we're standing behind the DJ and we see a guy like right in front of the DJ with his phone all out, not
just
dancing, and
with the
that is
flash.
annoying to us.
yeah,
That is annoying to
No,
us.
I bet
that was the case at Bjorn. Like a lot of videos we have from Bjorn, there's one guy standing at the front recording the whole thing and not dancing. So that kind of kills the vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it goes like for me personally when I record, so I do record quite a bit. And now with the podcast we have to record
Yeah.
content for the podcast to promote like what's happening in our local scene.
Yeah.
I like recording. I record for myself. That's the way I look at it. I record for myself to like what I saw, like what I recap is for me. I actually go back and watch my videos.
I do
I-
too.
So I actually go back and watch my videos. And for me, a story summary on Instagram is like a quick way I can be like, because here's my thought process when I do it. When I record videos, I go home and I actually go and maybe potentially edit them. And then I'll post the ones I like. And then I was at one point, now I'm like really busy now, but I was like, I like to ID songs. So like this is where my
Yeah.
music knowledge comes in, where I'd be like, I know this song, so I'll post it
Yeah.
for whoever's watching to see that. And that's just something I like doing personally for me. But I mean, I'll post it.
As
someone
long
sees it.
as you're not doing it for like a prolonged period of time at a rave, like yes, get videos. We want that for you
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well, but just don't stand with your phone all the time,
Yeah.
just staring
Yeah.
at
you
the
got,
DJ.
I like the premise of I want to be in the crowd, maybe at the back
Yeah,
to capture.
Exactly. Don't
to
be a
capture-
front row.
yeah,
raver
exactly,
and
that's-
be recording the whole time.
Yeah, that's
That does not work out.
I've been in this thing long enough where it's just kind of like I kind of
Yeah.
know how to
Yeah.
navigate. But I gotta get now with the podcast. I gotta get that one video that's like a good back shot, like especially like behind Vendex. I gotta get that one video
Yeah.
where it's like showing.
Yeah.
Really cool. But do you guys like the so recently there's been a big trend of phone versus no phone,
Mhm.
like no phone at all. Do you guys like that?
I think for some events, yes, no phones. Like for Dave the drummer, I would like to have no phones policy because that's like more of a music focused genre. Not for the other big events because you know that is free marketing. I would never
Like-
want to give up on that.
For something like a restricted, I wouldn't want people
To keep their phones inside
Yeah.
because they would be super mad about it.
If they would.
I would love to
back,
see a
yeah.
crowd with no phones at all, but people would be so reluctant to it if you just do no phones at a very big show. just have to introduce it
You
nicely,
kind of have to
slowly.
ease into it. Maybe
Yeah.
start off with just telling people, educating them about restricting the use of phone.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
slowly they get used to it. And once they're used to it, then you start.
It goes back to
implementing.
the sign. It's kind of like restricted, but it's like it's not enforced.
Yeah.
Sound Machine was funny for that reason. They're like the no phone policy.
But it was never
They
implemented.
started
It was never
They
implemented.
It was-
So many people have told me this.
The marketing for Sound, okay, like I like the venue as what it is, but like the marketing made no sense to
Yeah.
me. It's
It
like,
did
we're not
not.
gonna do social media. It's gonna be underground vibe, but we're gonna do no phone policy, but we're not gonna enforce it. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on? Because the one event, what was it? The Stand Christ Dying event there.
Yeah.
Everyone had their phone out.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
At the start, they started marketing like, "Oh, we're gonna do no phone," and then everyone started using their phones. It's like, "Oh,
That's
I
the
guess
thing.
it's not."
That's not how it goes. Like with time, when as a business you're running things and see like this is not working out.
Yeah.
You kind of have to pivot and
Yeah.
change the way you're operating.
Because it is free marketing. Like
It
it's a
is.
way of getting your name
Exactly.
out there.
Yeah.
So before we move on to talking a bit more about the scene, which we've touched upon a lot, your guys' merch.
Yeah.
So like you're wearing the Takeover 6 merch. Sick?
Yes,
I
sir.
love the Takeover 6
Yeah,
merch.
it's
I think it
actually
I
pretty
think it
fire.
looks really
Appreciate
good.
it, man.
It took a long time to come
Yeah.
to this design.
But
There's a lot of detail on there. Yeah.
it's good. You can tell it's made for ravers
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
for our scene, which is really cool. So you guys, in your first year, you released merch. I'm assuming. right?
Yeah, we
Just
did. But the merch we had for the first year, it was like,
Pretty
I wouldn't
basic.
say it was basic. We didn't know much about it. But what we realized is that back in India, we have a lot of street fashion, street
Yes.
clothes wear
Street
brands.
fashion is like
Here,
huge, at least in
yeah.
the metro cities.
they're like India in general, just the Western influence and the like
Yeah.
they'll absorb anything and
Yeah.
they'll be
Exactly.
quick on trends too to try it out. They'll be the
Exactly.
first people to try it out.
Exactly. So here we actually didn't find anybody with back designs or like big back
yeah, back
prints.
prints and just
That is something that we both
just something
loved.
interesting on a t-shirt that I don't see it often in the market out there. So that's what we wanted to do with our t-shirts, just be like a little loud, I would say.
And people are paying like $40 for one merch. So it has to have all the details like
Yeah.
perfectly.
I mean,
like
if
even the
they're paying
threads.
$40, it should be worth the money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the end, we look at it. It's something that I like as organizers. Like I should be the one willing to spend money on this.
Yeah, I want to be able to wear.
I
it.
want
Exactly.
I want to
Yeah,
be able
yeah.
to wear it. Like,
Exactly.
this is our first merch, and we've gotten a lot of good compliments about it because the fabric's good. Anyone
Mhm.
who's bought it has been like, "Yo, this is really good." We put a little logo on the side too, just as just a
Nice.
little thing, and like
Nice.
Yeah.
we wear it and we love wearing it, right? And we want that exactly how you guys have it. I think that's the mindset you have to have.
Yeah.
That's the mindset you
Yeah,
have.
something that's flashy, something that's cool. That's what people want, right?
Yeah.
And they can actually wear it and
to your
then-
event.
Yeah.
And
That's the key thing is that especially with the warehouse environment, you want something that kind of works in a warehouse.
yeah.
That actually helped us with this merch. Like the previous merch that we had, it wasn't like a hit, I would say. This one was an instant hit. Like as soon as we had it, it was sold out.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was good.
Any merch plans in the future? Any different designs?
Yeah.
yeah.
We're getting there.
Probably,
yeah.
yeah.
With big
Keep an
shows
eye on their
coming in.
socials, guys. As I said, Anshi's the master at their social. You can always DM her. But yeah, they're you got to keep up with the merch game.
Yes.
You have
Yeah.
to. So just talking about the Toronto, we talked about a bunch about the Toronto scene. Do you guys like where it's gone? Like the growth, looking at it from a raver's perspective that you've seen the last 2 years?
100%.
Yeah,
Yes, I
from
mean,
where we come from specifically, I would say moving to Toronto and getting this rave scene, getting into this rave scene was amazing. But now the growth has been amazing.
Yeah.
Like I was telling
it's
Nav,
been exponential.
Hey,
To
for
be
It was
honest.
for
more
someone,
than double.
for someone who's been doing this a while, the techno scene, the underground techno scene explosion has probably been the biggest,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
100%.
Do you think there's any more space for new event organizers?
100%.
There's
Like,
always space for like
yeah.
if you have something unique that you're bringing in, be it the way you organize things, be it your vision or whatever it is. If it's something unique and people catch on to it, then it's gonna blow up.
Plus, everybody in Toronto, I feel, has gotten into good terms with the fact that new collectives are going to keep coming up. We have to help each other, not
As a
constantly
scene,
like
yeah.
it. Like Conductor, they've just done a few events and they're already partnering up with industry, us, and it's a good thing to watch. Like Tech just started. and they're partnering up with big collectives. So
It
It's
goes
good.
back to what we talked about, I think, at the beginning. It's like they'll bring a different perspective that
Yeah.
maybe you not have seen,
Exactly.
especially now that you guys have established. It's like, what fresh ideas can they come up with? Because they
Exactly.
decided to do they're you 2 years ago, where they're maybe sitting in their car saying, let's start an event company,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
100%. And
Even with conductor guys like actually playing at Sojourn this year.
Yeah.
So
That's
they're
huge.
being recognized, and that's so good because format has been for what, like 11, 12 years in the market, and they're
Apollo
giving chance.
too, like
Yeah.
they've been around forever.
And
Right?
they're
all in
giving
all-
chances to like Fahad helped us get into McCormack, right?
yeah.
So they're helping us out. We're helping
So-
people out.
And
It's
it
good.
goes back to anything. Like, it's competition, but at the same time, it helps you grow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? Like, you have to step up your game. And this is where I think the techno scene is thriving the most right
Yeah.
now, the underground techno scene, because like it goes back to you guys' little feud with it's like little pushing each other. It's kind of like, okay, and now you guys
And it was pushing in the right
in
In
side.
the right direction.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it might have been toxic for a tiny bit, maybe.
Because it
but-
was also fun that, yeah, when we used to win, it was a good day for us. But when the other person used to win, it was like a whole sad month for us. And we were like, no, we have to stop
And
doing that.
we've had this conversation with them this past
It
weekend.
doesn't help your mental
Yeah,
health.
It
for
does
sure.
not,
not.
like- On days that are good, they are amazing. But the days that are bad, they're like
They turn
bad,
into
bad.
months.
You know what they say in F1? It's like sometimes you love the sport, but the sport doesn't love you back.
Damn, you're a Formula One guy?
Yeah, yeah.
My man.
Yeah, we all are. I go like sometimes I decide if I go to a rave or not if I have to watch a race in the morning.
We come from
I come back
raves
home
then
and I watch it.
Okay, we need to talk
I
more
don't
about.
I don't open Instagram till then. I'm like, no spoilers
Oh,
for me.
I have F1 TV. I've opened it at a rave too before. So
Yeah.
like, I'm
Same.
I'm that type. Okay, we'll talk
Yeah.
about F1 after.
Yeah,
after
100%.
this. So like as I said, like
Team
I-
Max Verstappen? I don't think so. You don't look like a Max Verstappen.
I'm on the Piastri bandwagon. If we
Oh,
wanna
for
go
now,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
I've been on the Piastri bandwagon since he joined McLaren. I'm like, I see.
Between Lando and Piastri, yes.
Yeah.
I'm on the Piastri bandwagon
maybe
too.
we do an F1 podcast if we
Yeah.
have enough radio to talk on this. Because it seems to be a growing trend where everyone's like, oh, because a lot of the races are in the morning. So it's kind of like, as
Yeah.
a raver, you have to make that conscious decision to wake up and watch it.
Yeah.
Or
Just go home and
Or
watch.
recently, like it's at 2 a.m. and it's just like, what do I do? Do I go
that's
home and watch
prime
it?
time.
I did that. I watched the China race. I went home after a rave and I just started watching it. I'm
Same.
like, I might as well
Same.
just stay up.
Because I can't sleep after a rave. It takes a while. Like,
It does take a while.
almost take
Yeah.
an hour to just sit down, relax. So
Yeah. So we talked about like the conductor with like Sojourn Festival. Like that's another thing that's happened recently. These anything in your guys talked about?
Probably we're just partnering up with Entourage this year,
Yeah.
Tribunal guys, and then next year you'll probably see a Takeover.
Awesome.
It's in the mix.
It's on that what's that the board that everyone has?
Vision board.
Yeah, like a
Vision
vision board.
board.
It's kind of like,
It's already in the making.
yeah.
yeah, we have a whiteboard on our refrigerator. where we-
How far out in advance are you planned?
Probably a year before. So if we're planning something like next September,
this
we'll-
year's events, I planned them in October. Like since September it started where I was sending out emails to everyone. September, October, November was basically me getting dates. And that's how I got the whole year plan. And that's the plan for the next year as well. Maybe in a couple months I'll start sending out emails because yeah, it's hard to get bookings during summer, It's
Yeah.
most
Everyone's already booked.
exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, you want to bring like a new concept with the festival that you're doing. Like, I know everybody's doing their own fest, but with our fest, the vision is to bring something completely new. Like, not something that has already happened with Sojourn or industry or
240
even with
takeover?
maybe.
240
Maybe.
Don't spill all the beans.
Don't worry,
Uh,
this will be aired a bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah, just cut it out.
I want to touch upon the thing that like we talked about earlier, the special occasions permit. Like,
Yeah.
how'd you guys feel about? Obviously, as organizers, you guys would be like this would hamper you guys tremendously. And we
100%.
saw industry's recent post too, where they showcased the slide, the
Yeah.
petition work didn't even make it to council. So
Yeah.
thank
Shout
you
out to everyone who signed it.
Thank
be
you to
honest.
everyone who signed
Yeah.
it and everyone who shared
Yeah.
those posts. Shout out to Save
Save the Rave.
Save the Rave,
Yeah.
who started the post. Just honestly, it's just just another. We say like we lost some venues, like we lost the casino. Just another Toronto born that happened.
Yeah, because even with the venues, like even with 1377, they had like quite a few issues with the fire marshal and the license that you guys got.
Yeah, I mean, it takes time to get licensing for venues, and if you add another layer to it, it's not gonna make things easier. Like, yeah, I'm all for safety, but we all know safety is not the only concern that they have at the moment. They just
Yeah.
want to add another layer to it, so it gets difficult for anyone and everyone to get permits. Only people with the right connects would be able to get those
Yeah.
permits, and that's not good for the scene. You won't have unconventional venues anymore because getting an SOP is already a tough task.
It
Like,
is.
Then
have-
you need a catering license.
exactly, like sometimes
And for them to just give the opportunity to shut it down is just like
Yeah.
with like no.
There's so much regulation.
Yeah.
It's like it's already there,
sucks.
right?
and
Yeah.
and there's the politics in general where it's just like this is not about the scene or like
Yeah,
making
No.
it protecting the scene. This is
Yeah.
about like trying to milk more money out
Exactly.
of people.
100%.
Which you can see it, and then but the problem is our decision makers hold a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
power.
And you see venues like 131, they've worked super hard towards the scene. So now it's, I would say, easier for them to get a license. Or if they have a
They've been
catering
around
license,
for
yeah.
a while, so
But for new people like us, it's just
Yeah.
worse. If
Yeah.
if they
Yeah.
pass
if you're
these
a new
petitions.
collective and you don't know a lot about how all of this operates, it's pretty hard to get an SOP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, you have to be a not-for-profit organization, and getting yourself registered as a not-for-profit is already a huge task. So,
Yeah.
It's-
It sucks. And even if they do it, like we have to get catering licenses outsourced, then you pay them a commission out of your bar
everything goes
sales.
up in price, which
Yeah.
hurts
It's- yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
it
It
hurts
just
everyone.
sucks.
Like we're already paying astronomical rates for
Yeah.
like I appreciate the pricing that I've seen in the underground like hard technos. Like
Yeah.
that's
I mean, we,
Yeah,
we
it's
try
pretty
to keep
similar
it
at
as
all the
low
events.
as possible.
Yeah.
Because if like whenever I price tickets, it's like I'm sitting on the other end, and when I see those ticket prices, would I pay them? And that's how I go about my thought process when I'm pricing tickets and everything. So
it's tough. Like Clang coming too. Those
$100 tickets.
it's a big like to see one artist is kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's kind of tough. So I understand like someone who wants to see Clang, but it's like, hey, I can't do. But I know his booking fee is probably pretty high.
Yeah.
So it comes.
100%.
There's a lot of factors that come into it, which
Yeah.
I understand, but it's just stuff like that. Well, that Clang ticket would now be $110, right? Maybe more that final tier, right?
Yeah.
With stuff like that,
It
we
was-
don't need any more hoops
Yeah.
to make tickets more. Like it's already
Exactly.
the highest it's ever been.
Exactly. I mean, venue prices are high. Production, like if you want to put together a nice production, is gonna cost you
Yeah.
a lot of
Another-
money.
Yeah.
Like usually, lighting is more expensive than sound.
Because you have to pay for the lighting artist, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And just in general, like with lighting, you have to get more things incorporated, more moving heads, flashers, and then more labor to actually install it. With sound, it's pretty straightforward when you're doing it. So kind of came to me as a shock when we first started. And I was like, that's the lighting budget more than sound. Like sound is the most important thing in this.
It is, but you know what? The lighting guys have stepped it up recently too.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
100%.
It's as that everyone's like pushing these production like all the shout out to like Flow and all of them
Yeah.
doing their like you just see these like simple lighting, but it reminds me as what we said about Vendex. It reminded me of Europe.
Yeah.
It reminded me of a European rave with how it was set up, and you can tell by the lighting.
Yeah.
It's part of the atmosphere too.
Yeah.
Even some other ones like Embrace hosting events. I went to Christoph, which is like more
Mhm.
progressive,
Yeah.
and the lighting they
You
had
saw
there.
those X's at Christoph?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, they
I
were
saw
from
that.
Vendex.
I saw
They
that,
were
and
from
I
Vendex.
looked up. I'm like, those look familiar too.
They didn't
But-
even take it down. They were like, yeah, we like it. We'll do it.
yeah, it's really cool. It's have you guys raved in Europe?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not.
It's actually impressive how your guys' knowledge
Yeah.
about like the Toronto music scene and not having to rave in Europe, because it should definitely be
Yeah,
on the bucket list.
I almost got there.
Yeah.
Missed it by 25 minutes.
Oh, really?
So me and my boys, we went to our plan was to attend Terminal 5.
Oh,
in
that,
Edinburgh, and that's why we
I just had a friend come
yeah
back.
we curated the whole trip around it. It was back in 2023, and
that was the one with the 360 stage, the square,
yes,
the
yes,
arena stage.
yes. So we were
Yeah.
gonna attend the second day only. First day we missed it. Second day was the plan to go in, and the night before the after party, it kind of went on too long. So we woke up late, got ready late, and went to the venue late, and for some reason they stopped entry
5.
after 6. So it was supposed to be 5, but because the previous day a lot of people of course did not make it by 5, so they pushed it to 6, and we got there at 6:25, and they're like, we don't have any more security personnel to pat you down, plus it's near the
That's-
airport, so we cannot take any risks, blah blah blah. And yeah, it was a missed festival.
Oh,
so
is it?
so we literally made the whole trip around that festival, and we did not get to attend it.
Yeah.
But
The thing with ravers is you plan the festival and then you
exactly.
and then you
Plan
make
the trip, yeah.
So yeah, but I did get to attend the after party where I guess Indira Paganoto was playing right after Terminal 5. So the rave scene in general, I absolutely adore it. I
It's what we inspire to be, essentially, is how I look at it with the
Exactly.
techno scene. Like, they're the trendsetters, as we mentioned.
and
then
a lot
we're-
more people actually coming out for those events. The
If-
first event I
yeah.
attended during those vacation days was in Liverpool. Charlie Sparks was playing, apparently. Not a really huge place, but 131 McCormack size place, and packed to the top, and not a lot of phones out there. People actually like being part
It's
of.
part. We always say it's part of their culture.
Yeah.
Exactly.
like
It's
the
not
mu-
something they show off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's part of their culture.
I
and
mean,
you
yeah,
get
they
that
might
vibe too.
take a couple videos, but the phones go back in
Yeah.
right after, and
they're
they go
there
back to
they're
dancing.
there to rave.
Yeah.
Like we you can mention this on one of the other episodes, is that like the North American scene, they just want they go hard and they go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Europe, they want you to
Stay as
Yeah.
long as you can.
It's
as
Yeah.
long as you can. And you see some of these, I'm gonna say degenerate like set times, especially time warp Germany. I'm like, how do you
Time
have
warp.
like,
That was the thing.
I was like, how do you
Yeah,
have
time warp.
I'm like,
Yeah,
how do
yeah.
you have Adam Bear come on at like 8 a.m. in the
Yeah.
morning and he's the headliner?
I saw
I'm like,
the Kiki video where she woke up, I guess, at 5-6 in the morning to play a set at Time Warp.
I was like,
Like Time Warp.
It's- I
complete other
cannot.
metal. We talk about underground techno, everyone's bucket list. You got to go to Europe. But I do appreciate how much we're emulating stuff over there.
Yeah.
So we appreciate what everyone locally is doing for sure. But yeah, some of those raves are just insane. Like
Yeah.
Verknip videos, like the social media Verknip videos.
I feel everything comes with volume. The volume
Yeah.
of
The
people they
volume
have
of people.
attending events gives them room to actually up the production, spend a lot more money on all the other things, curate a big lineup. With North America, if you're bringing out DJs, you can't have a stacked lineup because bringing all of them out here is going to cost a lot. And then you don't have 10,000 people showing up for that event. So-
Max 2000.
Exactly.
Max.
This is also one of the reasons why we started a podcast too, is we want to sort of build up the local talent and give them a platform. Because the thing is, it's so expensive to get international DJs.
Yeah.
So if you bring up your local talent and like promote them,
Yeah.
then people are more willing to see them, and then that's how you bring the prices down for
Yeah.
consumers.
and it goes back to that, you give that new DJ an opportunity. He
Yeah.
brings 30 of his friends, and now you have 30 new fans that just follow your
Exactly.
Instagram,
Yeah.
that grow your community
Exactly.
too. So it's good to see. So I guess, where do you guys see like our local scene headed? Like I think we talk about like more bouncies,
Mhm.
more bouncies. Anything else you guys are seeing maybe for 2026? Because you obviously are not just thinking about 2025, you're thinking about 2026. You
Yes.
have to.
I think tapping a lot more crowd. The new generation that's coming in, they're not going to clubs anymore. They're just coming straight to raving. So
Yeah, I feel club culture is
Well,
mostly
it-
dead.
it's
And
now.
you
mostly
can see
dead
it in the
now.
bigger clubs too, like
Yeah.
Rebel not doing Saturday club
like,
nights because
They're having to switch their sound, and
department makeover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Looks more like an event venue than it does a club now.
yeah, I mean, them booking more hard techno acts goes to show that there's a shift in the whole scene.
But I
Uh,
think after 2026, we'll all probably shift to bouncier music.
I feel
I like
everything's
this
gonna
thing,
be
though. I
there
think so,
still.
too.
I think that's it's I don't know. It's like trends are so hard to predict. too,
Yes.
but it's something that we're noticing, like 240 sound. Like
Yeah.
I mentioned the classic trance sound, like that's coming back. Like
I feel
these-
everything will coexist because if you keep giving the audience that 240 bouncy sound for over,
It's just gonna phase out.
Yeah.
it's
gonna
That's
fade
the
out,
next thing's
because
gonna come in.
people are gonna get.
We
bored.
always lag behind Europe. We always say that. Too.
Yeah.
and
Like,
it's
a couple years
unfortunate,
at
but
least.
you can't change that. I just think you can't.
It's gonna be a mix of all the genres
Yeah.
in the end. Yeah.
So for you guys, what's in store for 2025 other than my phone and all the tickets I've bought, which is a lot. I can share it with you guys if you guys want to see it on the.
I think probably a lot of big artists this year with
Yeah, a
more
lot of big shows.
more collaborations,
Yeah.
and probably a mix of underground events as well, like
I mean, yeah, of course.
More
Something
newer,
that is-
newer venues.
newer,
Newer
venues.
venues. We're trying
Actively
to.
looking for that.
We're
Yeah.
actively looking for new spaces, but the only problem is they all have to be vetted by the fire marshals, health and safety
Mhm.
inspection.
For
So
a year straight, like we wanted to build our own McCormack because we knew McCormack was the only good
Yeah.
venue there.
We
And
joke
there's-
it's the TBA warehouse.
Yeah.
And
and
we
we're
see
swamped with events.
you guys changed that. You guys in industry changed that. Whenever before it used to be TBA warehouse, oh it's McCormick. They just can't announce it.
Yeah.
And now when it's TBA warehouse, it's like
Mhm.
where is it?
Yeah.
where is it? And then we see like the funny East Side Toronto, West Side Toronto. And
Yeah.
it's like
But do you
Okay.
think if you build your own venue, it'll lose that sense of
Yeah, you're right. It's gonna be the
Same
TBA
pla-
warehouse all over it.
Yeah.
yeah. I like you guys using different venues. Breath of fresh air. It goes back to the
Exactly.
DJ thing in my
Yeah.
opinion, right? It goes back to I went to the one the 420 event.
But
It
what you
also
can
depends
do,
on
what,
the capacity of the event. Like,
Yeah.
What you can
not
do
all
is-
events can be McCormack.
you can set the event up, and then you can have different lighting every single time, like different setups of lighting every single time.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just I think sometimes people I don't know.
I don't know,
It's
man,
an interesting
actually,
thing. When
'cause-
familiarity getting to a venue matters.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you when you know, like one of the things, especially like a new venue, the worst thing I hate is where do I park?
Yeah, but the thing
Where-
is, like,
where-
when
where
you
do-
go,
where do I go? Where
Parking
do
is a big issue.
where do I go? Like when you know it's like McCormick, or you know it's like say they do their Takeover 6 venue, you know what to expect, where to go.
What's the Takeover 6 venue?
Just saying. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there.
yeah, but the thing
I'm
is,
just
like,
putting it out
with
there.
a new venue, it's like every time it's a new adventure, you know?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, but I don't need that stress sometimes. in
Yeah,
my
for me
life.
personally, I would like to go to one venue too, where I,
when
know
we
a
started
familiar
doing
face.
events at 501, it was kind of nice. Like new venue, new layout.
With Porsche scopes happening, I think 501
Yes.
Alliance really boomed up.
Yeah. In an ideal world, yes, what you just said, where I want to go to a venue and I want to be transformed every single time.
Yeah.
Realistically, it's not gonna happen, but I can see that perspective saying that would be lovely, where you just have like think of like a box and you just change the box to anything.
Yeah, but they
Anything,
do
yeah.
that at McCormick still.
They do. So
So
I
it's-
would say McCormick kind of works in that sense, but I mean at the same time that you can never
It
change
has
the
to be
McCormick.
like the
You can never change the McCormick bathroom.
Yeah,
in
you
that
cannot.
situation.
You cannot.
So there is that gripe on that. You can never switch the parking situation outside of McCormick's.
the lighting has to
McCormack
be
has a bathroom situation. They've got like 15 stalls in
do.
there.
They do.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you get to use the staff washroom.
Opinion invalidated.
So
now.
naive.
Yeah. So if do you guys have any other final things you want to say?
No, we're just super happy to be here. Thank you
Yeah,
so much
thanks
for
for
having
having
us.
us,
It
to
was
be
such a fun
honest.
conversation.
Yeah, it was.
It's such a good. I just as I said I knew about the history. I was just nice to deep dive into your
Yeah.
guys' history and like the struggles you guys had and the ups and
Now you
downs
have
and
the
the
exact-
community.
We've never actually spoken about it
Yeah.
anywhere in public.
Never
But
in
it's good.
public,
It's
like,
good to.
Yeah, we talk about it behind closed doors with like really close people, but it's not like out
People
there,
want to
out there.
know. People
Yeah,
want to know.
People
for
want to
sure.
know. As I said, like I'm the type of person too, and I know there's a bunch of people. I want to, if I have a bigger connectivity to the community and the organizers, if I know the amount of effort they're putting in, and I
Yeah.
see it. I see it when I go to your
Yeah.
guys' event. I see it when I go to industry events. I see it multiple. It's just like I will say I don't see it with like Ink's too big as a that I don't really see it. I know they're
Yeah.
big to run it, but I don't
Now
see
they're
the
a
heart.
corporation level.
That's
Yeah,
what I
exactly.
mean. It's
Yeah.
the heart and soul of the
Yeah.
rave is lost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I appreciate what all you guys in the underground scene are doing.
And to be honest, we'd like to keep it this way. Even if we go bigger than this and just become whatever,
Because it's a part
I
of us.
still want to
It's
be at the door.
Yeah.
Saying hi to people.
No, that's true. As a you never lose your sense of identity. I think that's what it comes. You always have to be reminded of where your origin started.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
people grow, right? But like there isn't a limit to before you
Yeah.
lose your soul. And I
Yeah.
hope
100%.
You have to stick to your.
you have to stick to your roots. So we appreciate that.
No,
Any
but
final?
it's a fun thing that you've been doing here as well. Like it's amazing for the community, for the new people who are coming in and who's gonna come to our page with this podcast. It's amazing what you're doing.
No, we
A lot of
appreciate it.
insight for them.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we've been humbled too. As I said, we put in a lot of work too in the last year.
It shows. It
It
shows.
shows.
It
Yeah.
shows.
It's right there on
L-
the T-shirt.
Yeah. No, we appreciate to everyone listening as well. As I
Yeah.
said, our DMs are always open. You can always reach out to us for any comments, feedback, and we'll provide you more content around the road, just like with Takeover 6, providing you guys banger events.
Yes,
Any
sir.
final social plugs you guys want to say to the community?
Yeah, follow us on Instagram at Takeover 6.
And them at BNB Hurts.
Yeah.
Hey, yes, follow us. Yeah, as a make sure you're joining their WhatsApp group. It's a fun community, like lots of combos happening. You get the ticket drops there first.
Yeah, exclusive pre-sales for everyone who
We'll
joins.
put everything in the link
We'll-
below.
Yeah, we'll put everything linked. Well,
800 messages, but worth it.
Yeah,
worth it.
1,000
I mean, I
messages
do
a
have
day.
it muted. Oh no,
I have it muted.
I have
as
it
well.
muted, but I saw your message, so I was thankful I saw your restricted.
Whenever
message.
I see Zella and Techno Bunny come on, I'm
Oh.
like, yeah, it's gonna be a big
Long
conversation.
conversation.
now.
Shout out to our lovely community and ravers out there who keep it alive.
Sad guys.
So yeah, thanks for tuning into this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Please share it with a fellow raver, like and subscribe. We're trying to help us reach our goal of 1,000.
Our
subscribers.
goal is 1,000 subs.
You know,
We're
we got
a little
we
bit
got-
off, but
and then we'll move up after that. But we're getting there, so please give us a follow. Summer's around the corner. We have a partnership with AirAllo. If you're a new customer, you get 15% off new eSIM when you're traveling, which is great. And if you're an existing customer, you get 10%. We also have affiliations with earplugs. So if you need a new earplug, we have a affiliate code with Hears. If you group buy, it's much cheaper. As I said,
30%.
especially for all events, you must wear earplugs, especially for
Earplugs,
these
yeah.
guys' events.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
should.
Much needed.
You should.
Yeah.
Definitely get earplugs. And if you need a solo pair, we have a discount code with Zound. Everything's in the links below. We all use earplugs on this panel. So please protect your hearing so you can go to more of these raves. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Peace.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.